Oh my goodness. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Oh my god. Is everybody having a good time? It's been a quite tumultuous month. I must admit it's been holy fucking shit. Okay. So much has happened this month, both in like the world and in like my life and fucking like Valve stuff, bro. We had the election. And then I got fucking married, bro. I walk around with like this ring on my hand now. It's like insane. Let me play some background music really quickly. I'm gonna be talking and chatting with you guys for a minute because it's been a while. I keep saying that, you know, I got caught up. It's taking me too long to stream. I'm like getting lazy. I'm getting busy. I've got all these things happening, but we're gonna be back soon. I keep saying that, and it keeps not happening because life is just so crazy. It's like insane. And there's so much to talk about today that feel like completely insane. I got married a couple days ago. It was a wonderful time. It was a great experience. But it did have the unfortunate downside of while I was away, the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary came. Now I knew this was coming. There's a lot of rumblings that this was going to happen. I had no idea it was going to be an event to the extent that it was, right? Like, I had they had like little Steam charts. The contractors updating Half-Life 2 or whatever was people were saying on Twitter. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening with Half-Life, and they're gonna do Half-Life 2 20th anniversary, and what if they announce Half-Life 3? And it's like, well, I guess that would be a pretty good time to announce a new game, right? It's the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2. What better time is there to announce Half-Life 3, right? You think, well, it's been 20 fucking years. It's a pretty good date. But it happened without me. I was away. I did watch the documentary while I was away. I couldn't stop myself. It was very good. Shout out to the guy who made that documentary, the No Clip people. They make some really good stuff. They did that No Clip Ravenholm documentary that I talked about in my Ravenholm video. They do some pretty good work. But it's crazy. It's literally like insane. I would never miss this. I have been a Half-Life 2 fanatic. Before it was cool, I was a Half-Life 2 fanatic, okay? I've loved this game unconditionally. All the people who prefer Half-Life 1, I've always argued with them. I get in a ton of trouble. I piss a lot of people off. I tell them, fuck off. You know, Half-Life 1, that's a great game, don't get me wrong. But Half-Life 2, that was the generational game, okay? That was the game that brought us forward everything. Your favorite YouTuber, well, if your favorite like gaming YouTuber, probably, if you watch me, probably wouldn't exist without Half-Life 2. G-Man Lives, people like that. Like, I love these people. They're great people. But Half-Life 2, or like Ross Scott, for example, would we have Freeman's Mind if not for the Source engine, which we only have for Half-Life 2? There's just so much. Gary's Mod. I certainly wouldn't have my fucking channel without Half-Life 2. That's for sure. And the stuff that we got out of this update is like ludicrous. I have like a couple of notes. Oh, and while I was gone, not only did the election happen, but like a Half-Life 3 fan game came out that's been like in the works for like 6 years or something, and that was before the Half-Life 2 anniversary, the official anniversary. They just dropped, I think it's called Project Borealis or something. I haven't played it. I don't know if it's still interesting enough that people would want to watch me play it, but I saw that came out, so I think Purple Kernel was streaming that. I don't know, maybe like leave a comment on the VOD if you're watching, if you actually want me to fucking play that. I don't know if people still care, but I had a video planned and everything. I had something I wanted to do. I actually probably still will make the video. I had a video I wanted to release for the day, but for the day of the anniversary, I'm sorry, I'm like scatterbrained. I got off a plane, bro. I'm like crazy, and I get crazy headaches on planes. I'm like a fragile little baby. Before I continue, I want to, there's some fan art that got posted in the Discord that I want to show off by Bell Official. This is me as Richter from Hotline Miami. I thought that was very cute. Thank you, Bell Official, for that. It's a very good little fan art. So, hold on. Of all the things that they added, I had here's a segment of my video script where I was going to talk about what I wanted them to add in a Half-Life 2 25th anniversary, like hypothetically. And, okay. Let me read this. I'm going to open it in a different file so I can read it better. So I said, since there's seemingly some kind of update coming for the game on Steam, here's my Christmas wish list to Valve. Fix the problems present in Half-Life 2 Steam build. Fix the HDR. They did that. They rebaked from what I've heard at least, I haven't actually played. Supposedly they redid all the lighting in every level and it looks like fucking amazing now, so I'm really excited to see that. Fixed the problem with the maps going full bright, I'm pretty sure at least, I'm pretty sure that happened. They fixed the grass sprites. One thing that I had absolutely no expectation for them to actually do was they added in support for the old classic fire, apparently. I thought I was like the only guy on Earth who wanted the old fire back, but they actually brought it back. Maybe they're fans. Yo, if there's a Valve employee who watches Richter Overtime, bro, if you're there, okay, I know I'm a silly little zoomer, but next time you do a documentary, TF2 documentary, reach out to me and Ratlobber, okay? Instead of No Clip. They do great work, but me and Ratlobber will do it better. We're not millennials, we're zoomers. We can make something amazing, I guess. I don't know. So reach out to some new talent. We're not Tyler McVicker, okay? We won't fuck it up. Shout out to Tyler. Sorry, excuse me. I'm like all over the place because this is really exciting to me. This is like this is what my whole channel's about, and I missed it, and I'm like genuinely sad about it. Obviously, the joy of getting married is way crazier than that, and also I kind of not like literally, but I got like a wedding gift from Gary Newman, kind of. It wasn't direct, like he didn't come to my wedding or anything, but one of my friends reached out and got something from Gary that they surprised me by bringing me at my wedding. It's this unreleased Gary's Mod coffee mug that they never put out, and somebody reached out to Gary and was like, "Hey, can I get this? I want to give this to Richter." And he actually did it, and I was so taken aback by that. I thought that was actually like amazing. That made me very, very happy and very hyper. I'm just crazy happy right now. I don't know if you could tell. I'm very, very happy that all of this has been happening. Anyway, back to this fucking list that I'm doing. Yeah, so they did fix the HDR lighting. They fixed the broken sprites. They added the fire thing. They fucking reverted the fire. They gave you. At least I heard it's like an effect, right? Like you can go to the options and you can toggle it on or off. That's really cool, and something I didn't think they would do. In this thing, when I did it, I did a post a couple of days ago that was like, what do you hope they add for the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary? I want to put it in a video. Obviously the anniversary has come and gone, and they did the update, so I probably won't be able to put that in my video anymore, all the suggestions people had. But one of the things that Marthy Black commented was that the Half-Life 2, what the fuck do you call it? The loading screens were supposed to play music through them. Like, when you would get to the loading screen and the game would pause, the music was supposed to continue playing. Supposedly, they added a console command to actually bring that back, which is insane. I would never think that they would care enough to do that, to be honest. Like, Valve has had like a 15-year track record of just like not doing anything. Just like fucking laying around and being like lazy. I guess it changed with the Half-Life 25th anniversary. This was like the first major Valve thing in like almost like 20 years that we actually knew when it was coming, right? Like, we didn't know that the Half-Life 25th anniversary was coming. We didn't know that Half-Life Alyx was coming, really. I mean, I guess Tyler did, but who knew if that was ever going to be made into a real game? We just knew they were working on it. But this, like, people like, okay, they did a Half-Life 1 anniversary. They have to do a Half-Life 2 anniversary. It's arguably a more important game for the company, right? So it just made sense in the activity. We knew something was coming. But it's just crazy because that's if you've followed Valve for a long time, that's not normally how they've operated. They were totally silent for like 10 years. One thing I asked for that I knew they weren't going to do, I wanted them to bring to fix the soldier skin because it just looks weird. I knew they were never going to do that, but one thing they didn't do is apparently Half-Life 2 Deathmatch is weird. Still, they didn't fix Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. It's always felt really strange, but people are still playing it, apparently. Maybe I'll play it for the stream later on. People can join and have fun. I'll probably do that on the latter end of the stream. Of the things that I added here, it looks like basically they did everything except fix Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, because they did do a documentary. They didn't announce Half-Life 3, but they did show us Half-Life 3, apparently. They showed us Episode 3, which is, like, insane. We finally have, like, real official footage of Half-Life 2 Episode 3. What the fuck? Is that not, like, insane? I feel like that's, like, insane. Honestly, it kind of makes me a little bit sad, because it's like we've seen Episode 3 now, and we've seen the SIGGRAPH 2000 free TV shit. The mythos is, like, dying. I feel like this documentary might have kind of killed the mythos behind all the mystical Half-Life Valve shit. Hey, I'll see what's up. Thanks for popping in, chat. It seems like they ran out of time before they could properly get working on Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Well, it was an afterthought in 2004, so that's kind of fitting, right? You know, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch was just something that Adrian Phenol was working on, apparently. So the fact that it became an afterthought in this update, too, is you know, some things never change in 20 years, I guess, and one of them is Half-Life 2 Deathmatch not being important at all. Anyway, sorry, I gotta go look at my notes that I fucking made. I didn't make that many notes. But, oh, thank you to the people in my comments who are wishing me a happy marriage, and, thank you to the awesome people who came to my wedding. I like walk around with this ring. I might have already said this, but it's so weird to walk around with like a ring on your finger. That is something that that's gonna take a while to get used to. But they did a documentary. They showed off the Half-Life 2 beta shit. They showed off a bunch of what people thought was like lost cut content stuff, like the free TV stuff. Very weird to see that like in action and like real HD. There's a whole bunch of weird little models. They had interviews with a bunch of people. They've interviewed Victor Antonov. They interviewed Zabi Ang. They interviewed all the amazing people who brought Half-Life 2 to life. Not all of them, but like a good amount of them. And the game itself, I forget that's actually what this stream is supposed to be about, is the game. They did like a ton. Let me stop this music because we're back in, we're here, okay? First of all, the menu's different. It looks different. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. I kind of got used to and sort of like the shitty pixelated text, but this is definitely a lot more modern and probably better looking. Is this G-Man or something? You guys see that? What the fuck? You guys see that? I don't know if you can see my cursor on the stream. Hold on, can you see my cursor? Does that work? In that little window right there, there was someone like looking. That's like creepy. What the fuck? Did y'all see? Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. They fucking they added commentary 20 years later. I'm gonna go through some of the commentary. I don't know if I'll have time to see all of them on this stream, but they added a bunch of commentary, which is awesome because the episode commentary is awesome. I've tried not to get spoiled on what they talk about in the commentary because I want to go through it for this stream. I thought there was an extras. Was there not an extras thing they added? Hold on, I might have to restart the game because I heard they added the workshop, but and I think that's supposed to be here, but it's just not there. I'm like clicking it and I can hear it, but I downloaded a workshop add-on that is called like veteran difficulty, and I think it's supposed to, when you go on gameplay and set it to hard, it's supposed to make it even harder. So you guys will get to watch me. Ooh, turn off aim assist. I don't want any aim assist. What the fuck do I look like to you? A lame guy of some kind? I don't need aim assist. I'm awesome at Half-Life 2. I'm so fucking good at Half-Life 2. That's what you don't understand. Press the back button? Oh, okay, there it is. Thank you, Dude the Ninja. Thank you, Aussie. I appreciate that. Yeah, so they added a workshop, and oh yeah, they merged Half-Life 2 in all the episodes, and Lost Coast. The only thing they didn't merge is Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, which is really impressive, honestly. Those games have a lot of different things in them that would probably make them incompatible. It seems like somebody really went through and redid, like, not redid, but like, you know, edited and tweaked every single map. But they added the workshop. This is, like I said, the only mod I have is this Half-Life 2 veteran difficulty thing that's supposed to make it harder for, you know, awesome guys like me who've played the game before. This is really cool to have all of these games in one. I don't know if it was necessary, but it is neat. It might confuse people, because if you're like a new guy and you want to open Half-Life 2, it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll start with Half-Life 2 Episode 1, right? The first episode of Half-Life 2. That's a problem with the naming convention in general that was just kind of silly. I know a lot of people who, the first time they played Half-Life 2, they started with Episode 1. Rat is one of them, I think. Anyway, the extras, they added the workshop, which is cool, but I do also hate to say that it's kind of giving JB Mod a little bit. It feels like JB Mod. I don't know that this is really going to be the end-all, be-all spot for Half-Life 2 mods. Some of the Half-Life 2 mod people I've talked to have said that this doesn't support custom code or anything, so it's kind of like a lot of like mods that run on map-based, like Entropy Zero, 2, are never really going to be supported through this unless Valve changes something. So it's a cool thing to have, but it is sort of also like a novelty. This is where you're going to go download your like Germa mods or whatever, I guess. But it is neat. It is neat to have that show of life to show that they still care, I guess. Because it's felt for a while like they didn't. I won't lie. I don't know. And that's the other thing with having a workshop like that is, you know, it creates these issues if shit is like not supported, and then obviously Valve probably won't support this for a very long time. I think there's probably still issues with the Half-Life 1 25th anniversary update, because that caused a bunch of problems in like Counter-Strike. So if you're not willing to like work with the, for lack of better words, the internet autists who make these mods, and you're not willing to really listen to them and get your knees dirty and run around and go, hey, what do you guys need to support all this, and get all the popular mods up, because that's another thing. Mods being uploaded by people who didn't make them is going to be a problem here. People are going to complain about that. That's going to be like an issue that people are going to get pissed off about. So in a way, I feel like maybe this was completely unnecessary. It's cool, but I don't think it'll replace, you know, the strongholds for Half-Life 2 modding that have existed for a long time, like Game Banana or ModDB. I think a lot of people are probably still going to kind of host shit on ModDB and all that. I think one problem that's going to happen with Half-Life 2 Workshop is a lot of yeah, that's what I said. It's just, it causes problems, and I kind of disagree with you know, this is happening like everywhere, where it's like the centralized modding hub officially, and it's like the same story every time. It happened with like Doom. I think it happened with Quake, where obviously everyone's rushing to upload the most popular ones, and sometimes the add-ons that wind up getting most popular wind up not being uploaded by the original person. They're mad. They want their credit. So it's like throwing a wrench in the plans, or what's the word? Throwing a monkey wrench in the gears, or whatever the hell the saying is. It kind of throws a lot into the hands of the mod community to kind of fix shit. But hopefully they can figure it out, and hopefully it works. Hopefully Valve is willing to actually listen to what modders want out of this, because they never do. They never do. People are saying I'm a yapper. I should probably just get playing, but I don't know, man. I'm so excited, and I am a crazy monkey man. Okay, give me a little bit of a break. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't mentioned. Let me go look. Yeah, new documentary, developer commentary, a lighting update, the workshop, new cut content, and it's just a win for Half-Life 2 fans. Listen, I was a Half-Life 2 fan before it was cool, okay? Way before it was cool. Yo, Rich, you wanna VC? Sure, I'll see you in a minute. Oh, shit.
Have a long and happy marriage, man. Cheers.
Thank you, Belsat. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, brother. I really appreciate the support. Not only the support you just gave me, but the support you've given me over the years. You've been a great supporter of the channel. Who knows where we'd be without Belstat, okay? W Belstat in the chat for the people who know who that is. Give him a W, I guess. Yeah, I hope I have a happy and long marriage. I appreciate the well wishes from you and everybody else who's done that. And thank you, Gary Newman. Thank you, Gary Newman. Okay, yeah, I'll call Aussie. Let's see. Hello?
What's up?
How's it going, Aussie? What is there something you want to talk about? Why do you want to come on my stream like this? What's going on?
I don't know, just exciting events. Like, I think you could use someone to
you have no idea how mad I am that I missed this. It's like traumatizing. It's like traumatizing. And I had a bunch of people be like, "Oh, well, you should have planned your wedding better." I planned it for October, and I had to delay it against my own fucking wishes because I knew this was coming. So I missed this.
Fuck.
I'm so mad. I'm just so mad, man. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
What is did I miss anything? I did my ADHD attempt at kind of collecting everything and trying to. I know everyone who's watching probably already knows about this because it happened like a fucking month ago at this point. But I'm trying to we got a dono. What is that?
Yeah.
Is there Half-Life 1 and 2 the definitive?
Is there a Half-Life 1 and 2?
I guess this is it.
Yeah, this is the Half-Life 2 definitive. They could have put Half-Life Source in here, and that would be fucking crazy.
It's even more broken now, by the way, because of this update, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's delisted. They delisted it like last year, I think.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. They've invalidated Half-Life 2 update. It just doesn't have a reason to exist anymore.
Yeah, it's true. That was supposed to be its own thing. There was supposed to be its own community, whatever, right? There was a community Half-Life 2 remastered collection. I wonder what's gonna happen with that. It was supposed to have like Barney blinking. Was like all I've ever seen of it.
Crazy.
Fuck. And then there's the RTX thing coming out, which actually I think it looks cool. I know you hated Portal RTX, but I recognize that nothing will replace Half-Life 2. And to me, I just view that as like an excuse to play Half-Life 2 RTX again, or through RTX. So, oh fuck. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything else I need to tell these fine people? I don't know.
I don't know. The documentary, I guess, but like everyone's seen that.
I wish I could watch. I did watch the documentary. I cracked.
Yeah.
There's that weird ass G-Man. Listen, this is me, okay? This is me. I'm gonna put an image on screen. This is how I feel today, because I liked Half-Life 2 before it was cool. I've been an arduous Half-Life 2 supporter for literally forever. You can ask anybody. And now they're making it cool to like Half-Life 2, so it's just a wonderful day, okay? It's a wonderful occasion. Fan. I'm the biggest Half-Life 2 fan. Richter's talking fast. He's on them addies. No, I need addies. I need addies. This is me. This is me completely sober, bro. This is me. Okay, I might have to let you go though. I want to listen to I want to listen to the dev commentaries. I want to listen to the dev commentaries. And yeah, thank you. If I'm missing anything, seriously, is there something that needs to be addressed that I'm completely forgetting? I need to know. If anybody in chat knows.
Thinking. Not really. No, just like you kind of caught up on everything.
Okay, so I'm caught up. I know everything here. Cool.
Yep, you're all good.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. Take care. Okay, we're back alone on stream. We're gonna play Half-Life 2. I'm gonna play it with the dev commentary that I've tried not to hear. I've tried not to listen to. I'm fucking geeking out, bro. Shit. Wasn't it always cool to like Half-Life 2? No, there's always been a giant crowd of people who say that Half-Life 2 ruined the series. And there's always been a giant crowd of people who say that the episodes are better. And there's always been a crowd of people who said that the beta was better. And I've always gone to war with all of them. All of them! For years! For years I've been the purist, the Half-Life 2 supporter, the Half-Life 2 purist. What I mean, I'm not the purest Half-Life 2 supporter. That's not what I mean. I mean I'm a Half-Life 2 purist. I love it. It's a beautiful game. And you don't get Garry's Mod without it, you don't get the Source Engine without it, you don't get TF2 without it. Yeah, I didn't enable the commentary, you're joking. I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this time, okay? There. Captions are off? Oh yeah, I do need the captions. You can enable the day one fire and blood. Yeah, I need to do that. Is that in video? Shit. How do you do it? How do you do that? How do you enable that? I'm like a silly Billy over here. I don't even know what I'm doing. Subtitles. How the fuck? How do you enable the classic effect? I'm fucking blind. I'm fucking blind. Just in case I have to restart again, I'll do that. Okay, enable commentary track. We're starting for real this time, okay? We're starting for real. God, I'm so excited. This is awesome. This is awesome. Honestly, it is cool to come back from like the happiest days of your life, and then come back to like, oh yeah, they also updated your favorite game like ever. The people that constantly yap about Half-Life 2 being bad are at most a vocal minority in the community. True, but I hate them. Fuck you. The game's great.
Richter, do you think I should get a Valve Index?
I don't have one, but maybe. If you think it's cool, that's up to you, man. Now, I'm just kidding. If you dislike Half-Life 2, it's a valid opinion. Don't unsubscribe. But I've always loved it, okay? Also, yeah, I don't know. The font being HD is, like, really weird. It's really weird. It makes it feel like a remaster when it's, like, kind of not. And I found the, like, pixelated text kind of, like, charming, like I said earlier. I swear the ragdolls are more like day one. We'll see. The ragdolls did hit the ground harder in the original build of the game. That's like a fact. I'll be able to tell the difference. I will. Because I'm so like autistic about this game. I play fucking C Voxulary's. I guess I used to. I probably won't have to anymore. I used to play C Voxulary's Half-Life 2 2004 mod because I liked the original version of the game so much better. I did a whole video about that, but it's a shitty video. Don't watch it. Okay, here we are. We're in City 17. It's a classic, beautiful thing. It's closer to looking like Alex. That's true. That's true.
I didn't see you get on.
Well, that's because I just teleported from killing a giant fucking baby, bro. You don't even know the Half-Life lore. Charlie Brown! Okay, is this gonna be Gabe?
I'm Gabe Newell, and welcome back to Half-Life 2.
Holy shit, a wall text.
It's been a long 20 years since its release. In this anniversary update, we've tried to respond to as many of the community's requests as possible.
He was listening to me,
While this might
clearly.
not be the absolute #1 request from fans, I often hear how much people would like a commentary mode, so we're excited to finally make that happen. Not only was it a challenge to remember many of the details of Half-Life 2's development, but it's not easy to crack open decades-old computer code.
Somebody said I can hear the uncontained excitement this man has. Is bro happier for his marriage or the Half-Life 2 update? I have friends asking me that, which is a little concerning. Obviously, I'm happier for my marriage, okay? Don't even play. But I'm like, it's probably not as close as it should be. I'm a lot more excited for the Half-Life 2 shit than I should be.
It's crazy there's a viral Piglet game, GTA Definitive Edition new update, and finally, HL2 20th anniversary update this month 2024.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know anything about any of those other things. Really, I'm a. But thank you for the five, bro. I really appreciate it. With two, is that the name? I'm just excited about this. I don't care about the GTA thing. GTA is cool. It's a Half-Life day, okay? Keep all your fucking chat messages about Half-Life 2, specifically 2. We all know it's the best. It's set the mold forever. I have a video that's going to come out about this. It's called Half-Life 2 is better than you think. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron because everyone admits this game is great, but you don't appreciate it enough. It's an amazing game, okay? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anyway, back to Gabe Newell's soothing voice that sounds like it's been upended by like an AI.
And wonder what the hell you were thinking way back then.
Did he record this on like a fucking laptop mic or something?
Bugs, and tried to leave things in better shape than we found them.
That was one thing that did bother me about the documentary. They didn't. Okay, and I think Danny O'Dwyer did on his Twitter. He's like responding to people, and he said that he did ask some people about the Eli face actor, but didn't get an answer. They didn't get they don't know who the documentary didn't uncover who the Eli guy is. It didn't say anything about the real dead body, which I know makes me sound like a Redditor to bring up. But seriously, that's like a big deal, right? That's like a real dead body in a game. That's like crazy. That one game, what the fuck is it called? The one that AVGN played with the fucking ugly reds. That game is famous just because it has a dead body in it, a real dead body in it. And then Half-Life 2, which is like a critically acclaimed game, it comes out that it has one. That's like crazy. And he didn't ask him about that. And the final thing that pisses me off about that documentary, which was still great, like I said, don't get the wrong idea. How do you do a whole Half-Life 2 documentary and not talk about Gmod at all? I think Half-Life 2's cultural identity, or its cultural force, is probably stronger than Half-Life 2's at this point. It's probably overtaken it. I don't think Gary would agree with me, but I don't think that's... I think that's like a shame. Yeah, Hong Kong 97 is what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I think that's a shame that they didn't talk about Gmod at all. I want to do Half-Life 2. I'm going to do a Gmod documentary rather. I want to do that. I have to now. I have to hit up Gary. I'll fly to England. I'll get the scoop. If people want that, maybe I'll actually do that. That would be awesome. Anyway.
And at least this time, we had the luxury of knowing how things turned out in the end. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentaries.
Because it's the Half-Life 2 video, not Gmod. Okay, but Gmod is a massive part of Half-Life 2's cultural legacy. Like an unignorable. Just completely unignorably, it's a giant part. It's fucking massive. It's like more popular than Half-Life 2. iShowSpeed is playing Gmod. He's not playing Half-Life 2. I'm sorry to say that. I know you guys probably don't like respect iShowSpeed in my like crazy boomer audience people, but he's like one of the most popular people on the planet. He's played Gmod. He hasn't played Half-Life 2. Think about that. That means like there's no, and it's so like I think Gmod has sold is almost as many copies as Half-Life 2 itself. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to relax. I'm like way too pent up about this.
Symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. And please let me know what you think. You can reach me at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks and have fun.
Gabe N. He's tired of people calling him Gay Ben. My name is not Ben, and I'm not fucking gay, okay? I'm Gabe N. Get it fucking right, okay?
Physics objects. It might be hard to remember it now.
Oh, I thought he was just going to say physics objects.
All objects in games, like these bits of trash, were usually static. As in, they didn't really move, or if they did, it was in a very simple way. If you're lucky, they might break apart into some sprites if you hit them. One of the goals for this initial train station section was to really make it clear to players that these kinds of things were properly, physically, actually being simulated in Half-Life 2.
That's what this whole game is about physics.
Thrown, broken, moved by other forces, you name it. Here we're starting with just a...
And that's okay. I'm fucking pissed off. Because they love to say that shit. This is my formal rebuking of everybody who calls Half-Life 2 a glorified tech demo. I left a comment on the documentary and I was still getting people replying saying that shit. Fuck you. Half-Life 1 was a glorified tech demo too if you want to be an asshole about it, okay? Because that had... Okay, hold on, what is this?
Viscous all over.
That's so true. Thank you, Jojo Bazad, for the 10. Listen, sorry, I have to get back to my fucking ramble. Half-Life 1 had whole chapters. Okay, the argument is, Half-Life 2 is a glorified tech demo because it has a bunch of stuff in it that's just showing off physics. Half-Life 1 had whole chapters dedicated to showing off, look at our skeletal animation. These scientists can talk. Oh, look, we've got moving brushes in the Quake engine. Look at this residue processing, all these crazy platforming you have to do. oh, look at our colored lighting. Like, there was so much of Half-Life 1 that was an excuse to show off technology, just like Half-Life 2, okay? Fuck off. Half-Life 2 is a great game, okay? Half-Life 1 is also, I'm not, listen, I have to watch my ass. Somebody's gonna clip me and put me on Reddit and I'll get fucking owned, but but listen, Half-Life 1 is in, if you want to be a prick and call Half-Life 2 a glorified tech demo, you have to accept that Half-Life 1 was too. Okay? That is my opinion. That is my statement to the world. Because both of them are great games. And I think watering either of them down to, oh, well, it was just showing off mechanics, it makes you the most smarmy fucking imbecile in the world, okay? You suck, okay? Half-Life 2 is a great game. That's the conclusion. That's my conclusion. Oh.
Small thing, showing that trash is being blown by the arrival of the train, or, more specifically, an invisible volume that's triggered by the player leaving the train.
Look at me flipping this Chinese food. I'm really good at it. Holy shit, there's a lot of commentary now. Is there this many through, like, every level?
Train station. The beginning of a Half-Life game has a big job to do. We have to introduce players to a new world while teaching them how to interact with it. Players need to quickly grasp what's happening, who the key players are, what threats they face, and how they fit into it all. Above all else, it has to be as fun and interactive as possible. Nailing
They succeeded at that.
takes a lot of iteration and play testing, especially on the small moments that make up a bigger picture of the game. In this section, we'll highlight...
This is stupid. But I didn't notice until a couple years ago, so I have to point it out to somebody. How many of you guys in chat knew or noticed that Dog's faceplate is one of these scanners? Because I didn't notice it until like 3 years ago when someone pointed it out to me.
Problems and a few play tests where things didn't quite go as
I
planned.
feel fucking run away. Hey, come here. Let me look. Let me look at you, motherfucker. Because it's like rusted. Fucking hell, Jesus. It's like painted. It's like painted, but it's a city scanner. I didn't notice that until a couple years ago. I guess maybe I'm just a little slow. Was that whole commentary node?
Train station. The beginning of a Half-Life game has a big job to do.
Oh, shit.
You have to introduce players to
A new world, yeah. And they did a great job here. Oh, thank you, Pete, for the $1. I appreciate that.
Metro Cop shoving citizen.
The Metro Cop, okay. And here's one place where Half-Life 2 blows Half-Life 1 out of the fucking water. The Metro Cops and the Combine Elites and the Combine Soldiers are fucking amazing designs. They're way better than the HECU, and the Combine as an enemy are infinitely more interesting than the HECU. I know nobody's here to argue with me about this, so it might be crazy that I'm getting so pent up about it. But I see people all the time say, oh, well, the HECU were a better enemy. They're more fun to fight. Maybe they are. In Half-Life 1, my experience with the HECU is them blowing themselves up. Like dropping a grenade and then they like don't move and blow themselves up, or like getting stuck in a door. That shit that has never happened to me in Half-Life 2. And I love Half-Life 1. I have to predate everything I say with I love Half-Life 1. There's no question about that. I've done a bunch of videos about Half-Life 1 mods. I'm not a Half-Life 1 hater at all. I really have a lot of reverence for it. But the Combine are fucking awesome in a way that the HECU, even after Opposing Force, add Opposing Force in, add in all the epic, lore you want. The HECU are a boring military faction. Like they're literally the Marines. They were created to be the U.S. Marines. There's really not a lot interesting about them. They have cool, they got cool action figure-y designs, but the Metro Cop is so fucking cool looking. Look at him. He's like awesome.
We walked a few feet and we're already got problems to solve. We're introducing the Metro Cop, an enemy that eventually we're going to ask players to kill, and giving you a glimpse of the world they're stepping into. It's a simple, clear moment that shows the relationships between the Metro Cops and citizens, and by extension, the player. At the same time, we decided to reinforce the existence of the core physics simulation, showing the way in which NPCs can casually interact with objects in the world. Seeing something like a suitcase knock into another and dislodge was pretty novel back then.
I think I hit him.
These moments at the train station, where we combined multiple goals, were the most successful. They felt natural, like the game wasn't pausing just to teach you a lesson.
True, that was good. Is this about the Vortigaunt?
Sweeping Vortigaunt. Another key.
Oh, they didn't do classic Vortigaunt, though. This is still like the newer Vortigaunt from the episodes. That's weird. I feel like it would be easier to port the old models than it would be to port the old like fire effects and shit. That requires like a lot of programming. This would be just like a model toggle or something, right? Or am I crazy? I'm not a programmer. I don't fucking know. But that's weird that they would port the fire but not the old Vortigaunts and shit. That's really strange.
Of storytelling and another non.
This sounds weird. Valve, what the fuck did you do to your audio, bro? Fix that. That's everything going on here sounds like AI or something.
Physics system. Here, we're showing how Vortigons fit into this new world, which is a big shift from their Half-Life 1 role as enemies. Like so many moments in Train Station, the sweeping Vortigon came from our constant hunt for ways to show characters interacting naturally with the physics system. Why just tell players Vortigons are friendly now, when you can show one casually sweeping the floor and knocking around some simulated objects? Nothing signals, hey, don't shoot me this time around, like someone willing to tidy up.
Welcome.
True, but Ross Scott would shoot them anyway. Fuck you. Anyway. Ah, man. Oh, you know what else I never noticed before? Maybe I can sit around for the Breen cast to end, and I can show you this. But there's, and I noticed this the other day. When this screen goes away, and it's just like the, you know, the, like, blank thing. But let me finish this Breen cast. Because this is also really well written. This is a really good introduction to the game. Let's listen to Breen finish this up, and I gotta show you guys something you might have never noticed.
On your way to parts unknown. Welcome to City 17. It's safer here.
This! Oh, it's like really blurry. This is a crowd of people with their hands up. Have you guys ever noticed that before? Because I didn't. I didn't notice until I just was looking at the game one day, and you can look up the texture, it's like a crowd of people. That is a crowd of people with the logo next to it. Seriously, has anybody in chat noticed that before? Because I fucking didn't. This is like, it's gotta be like people from some revolution or something with their hands showing up. Their hands up in the air. I don't know. Maybe everybody noticed that like years ago, but I did not.
Were you the only ones on that train?
Yes.
Been chosen to relocate to one of our finest remaining urban centers. I thought so.
Oh, you're not gonna talk anymore?
Overwatch stopped our train in the woods and took my husband for questioning. They said he'd be on the next train. I'm not sure when that was. Did there be nice though?
See, there's a bunch of people in chat who didn't know that. That's how you know I'm a real Half-Life 2 fan. I just educated 300 people about Half-Life 2, okay? I just taught y'all new things, okay? Because I'm a real lover of this fucking game, okay? You hear me? I'm a real Half-Life 2 fan, okay? I'm gonna scream it to the world. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna scream it anyway, okay?
And so, whether you are here to stay.
Okay, let me hear this.
Citizens.
Oh, this is the lead modeler, Bill Van Buren.
When it came,
one thing that did kind of make me sad about the documentary is I feel like it made some of my old videos obsolete because there's a part of that documentary that's basically my video Faces of Half-Life, except it's got better quality versions of the image, and he talks to the people directly. There's still some stuff they missed. They didn't talk about the court guy much, but they actually interviewed Barney and stuff like that. That's crazy. I don't know. I tried to break that story so long ago. I guess that video still did good, but now it's like a story that I told once. Obviously, I didn't invent the idea of talking about the Face of Half-Life 2 or whatever, but there's that, and then he talks about the Half-Life 2 beta. I get that these are just topics in the community that are popular, but it makes me sad because those videos don't fucking matter anymore because they're talked about in the documentary.
No one likes a Noah Richter Lowell.
That's true. Maybe I should relax a little bit. Listen, this is a stream for anybody, okay? I'm not trying to, I promise I don't care if you're, everybody, you guys probably all know stuff about Half-Life 2, I don't. That's not, what I'm trying to get stuck on. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just giddy, okay? I'm giddy as hell. I'm giddy. I love Half-Life 2. And I'm sorry if that comes off as being, pretentious or something. I'm sorry. I'm really not. I'm just excited about the game. I'm excited to talk about stuff. Sorry.
Time to design the human citizens of City 17 and the world outside the city. We chose to include a variety of races, ages, and genders. This not only provided narrative context for the Combine's enslavement of all of humanity, but
no, don't call me Unk in chat. That's evil. I'm 21, bro.
It's also important to us that anyone playing the game could see themselves represented in the Resistance, with everyone on Earth united against the Combine. While we found a number of candidates to use as reference in creating these citizens through our daily lives and connections, we ultimately resorted to advertising in the Seattle Times classifieds to reach the desired range of faces that we'd envisioned.
Oh, well, that's a part of the story I didn't know. I didn't know they did that in a newspaper. That's new information.
Natural storytelling. To achieve our world building and storytelling goals throughout the train station, we needed a natural way to deliver dialogue without it feeling too gamey or requiring tutorials. We noticed players often approached NPCs to get a closer look, so we turned that into an opportunity for the NPCs to acknowledge the player.
Oh, and they're reprinting Raising the Bar, the book, with like a new segment about the episodes. I have to buy that. Sorry, I just remembered that.
And deliver their lines. This kept interactions low-key, which was essential since the citizens aren't exactly too cheerful or lively. The simplicity of this approach also aligned with one of Half-Life's core storytelling goals, making the narrative responsive to the player's interest. Some players want to dig into every detail, while others just want to know what to do next. Giving players control over how much story they want to engage with, without it blocking progress, is a goal we always try to maintain in a Half-Life game. Plus, the less complicated a feature is to implement.
Actually, I don't think Bill Van Buren is the lead modeler. I think he's the lead animator. I might be. He's one of those.
The more of it we can include.
Cool.
Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget. I don't even remember how I got here. Watch it, will you?
That's how I would react to getting a bottle thrown in my head. And the maps look pretty good.
They're always full. No one ever gets on, but they're always departing, but they never arrive. And the ones that do arrive, they never leave.
And so,
you never see them
whether
go.
you
They're
are
always
here
full.
to
No one
stay or
ever gets on, but they're always...
Interesting. It's the same game we all love, you know, but they've just got they've touched it up, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. What is
Early
this?
tech planning. Shipping a game always teaches us a lot. We finally get to find out which choices we made were good ones, and which were ones we should do differently next time. So for Half-Life...
Happy birthday, Half-Life 2. You are the history of video games.
So true, so true. Thank you for the 5. And I don't think I said it. Happy birthday to Half-Life 2. You changed the world. Oh, he's being so dramatic. No, I'm serious. This game changed the world. You don't get Steam without Half-Life 2, okay? And Steam changed the world. Like, and this is the thing I have with the beta, right? The beta's cool to talk about, but if like the Half-Life 2 that they had in 2000, which also, one thing I noticed in the documentary, that is insane that the face models look like that in 2000. Right after Half-Life Opposing Force came out, Valve already had like the Half-Life 2 quality faces. That's nuts. That's insane. That is like actually crazy to think about. But what I was gonna say is, if the Half-Life 2 we got from 1990, if the Half-Life 2 from 1999 was the Half-Life 2 that we got, I don't think it would have sold the world on Steam. It would have been like a cool game that like G-Man Lives or people like that would have played it. But I don't even know if those people would have like people who do these like boomer shooter content games. I don't know that they would exist without Half-Life 2, because so much of the boomer shooter or whatever craze subculture is just downstream from Half-Life 2. You see so many posts that are like, oh, this is Halo aesthetics. This is what maps from Halo look like. And none of them get as many likes or have as many fucking followers as the Source Engine aesthetics. It's all Source Engine all the time. That is what like fuels everything, bro. Everything is downstream from Source Engine culture. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like I don't know. I guess obviously Half-Life 2 owes its dues to like Doom and Quake, right? Like that's obvious. But Half-Life 2 in particular, I don't know. I just view it as such a grand cultural, touchstone. There's just so much you don't get without it. I'm sorry. I'm going to continue. I'm sorry for being a fucking nerd.
When we sat down to start thinking about what kind of sequel we could build.
More like the Source Engine in general. Well, you don't get the Source Engine without Half-Life 2. It was proprietary to Half-Life 2.
We had all kinds of player feedback today.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm sure you're a lovely person. Sorry if I was using a mean tone of voice with you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I love all of you. Okay? I love all of you, bro.
From it, we tried to build a master list of things that Half-Life 2 was going to focus on. We didn't try to design a specific player experience. Instead, we found it more useful to approach the question from a technological standpoint. Black Mesa's security guards and scientists had worked well. What could we do if we pushed it really, really hard on characters? We liked our interactive storytelling. What could we build that would allow us to do even more of it, and a greater variety? The exploration and interaction with the Black Mesa was compelling to players. Maybe a physics system would allow us to take that further. In all these areas.
Don't feel the parasocial relationships? Well, I hate to say this, but if you're a YouTuber, those are just going to exist, bro. It's just kind of a fact of life. You just kind of have to live with it. There's no point in freaking out over it. Obviously, I don't love if there's like pedophiles and rapists in my audience. I obviously don't love them. Okay, that's not what that's supposed to mean. That's just a point of, you know, I'm grateful for my audience is what I'm trying to communicate there.
So we tried to imagine the best version of it could look like years in the future, and back solve from that a set of technological steps that might get us there.
Yeah, I think it was great. There's people who hate on the Half-Life 2 characters, like, oh, it's a retcon. I think they're awesome.
Storytelling.
And nobody gets mad at like Halo for it. Halo 1, Sergeant Johnson was not a person. He was a character model. Halo 2, he was a character. Nobody calls out Halo 2 for that, but they do call out Half-Life 2 for it. I think it's bullshit, folks, frankly.
Storytelling. Creating a sense of immersion was a core principle in our approach to Half-Life 1's storytelling, and it led us to the self-imposed constraints of never, or at
Are you kind of mad because Half-Life it was basically always free? It's never been more than like $10. That's like not a lot. I guess if you okay, obviously there's people in like you know, eccentric countries that we don't think of in America, the greatest place on earth. But I'm being tongue in cheek. But obviously it's probably great for people in you know, like third world countries or people in like Brazil. I know there's a lot of Source Engine lovers in like Brazil and Argentina and stuff. So if this helps them, I'm happy for that. I don't have a problem with them making the game free at all. I think that's great. I think that's a great way to you know, kind of bring it back to the front of the discussion for a couple minutes, for a couple days, couple weeks. Who knows how long the Half-Life 2 surge will go? I hope it lasts long enough for my video to not be irrelevant anymore when it comes out.
At least very rarely, taking control away from the player and of keeping the player's avatar silent.
Do you like the leaked Elite Metro Cop model? It's cool. It probably was unnecessary to have. I think they probably made it. It makes sense why they cut it. I think it's cool. I don't know if I would have like canonized it in the game though.
These limitations made storytelling more challenging at times, but we felt it was important to stay with them for Half-Life 2. Our hope was that by maintaining these principles, we'd push ourselves to explore deeper, more interactive storytelling.
Well, it worked out really well. They struck a really good balance with it. Every time that there's you know, just a bunch of people sitting around talking, they give you some crazy shit to just pick up and fling or whatever. So they did a good job of just making the game replayable through that. Yeah, you may go and do shit, boy. Oh, fuck, he's gonna do shit. Ow. Fuck. Leave me alone. I was hoping for a big update to HL2DM. That would have been cool, but let's be real, nobody plays Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Maybe they are right now, but they don't generally.
Boring game's old, you need to play COD instead.
That's probably pretty true. Well, you wouldn't have COD without well, maybe you'd have COD without Half-Life 2, but you wouldn't have COD without Half-Life 1.
This must be a mistake.
I got a standard relocation coupon just like everybody else. What's this?
Characters.
Oh, Mark Laidlaw.
In Half-Life 1,
I actually emailed this guy once and he got back to me, which is crazy.
security guards and scientists could best be described as archetypes, not individuals.
They're abstractions,
They were
yes.
abstractions of characters that matched the visual fidelity we could achieve at the time. But as our technology improved with Half-Life 2, we saw an opportunity to move beyond abstractions. The increased
Yeah, the Half-Life 2 Deathmatch view models just feel weird. The gravity gun feels weird. They need to go back and they should do the Half-Life 2 Deathmatch 20th anniversary. Fuck it.
fidelity of the character models, combined with improvements in animation, made us believe we could focus on creating individual characters, people you would actually care about. We allowed ourselves to write real dialogue and have characters.
Are you the guy who made that video about the corpse or something? No, I made Just How Evil Are the Combine. That's what I made.
In a way that felt realistic enough for the player's
Obvious joke, by the way, before someone gets mad.
response in a video game.
Bro, we're like 20 years late, play Half-Life 3 instead.
Yeah, it's pretty lame to fucking. Also, I've been live for an hour and we're not even into fucking Kleiner's lab yet. Oh my god! I just realized that.
Tell our narrative.
Maybe they have a point saying speed up,
In
Unk.
2001, a couple of years into development, we were energized by Japan Studios' Eco. Directed
Interesting.
by an animator, it blew us away with its reliance on characters as the key connection to the player, giving us the courage to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I made Half-Life 2, What is the Thing? That's my most famous video. I made Half-Life, but the VR is self-aware or whatever. That's me. I made Skibbity Toilet, and that's where you might know me from. Prophecy for this. About that beer I owed you.
It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa. Hey, sorry for the scare. I had to put on a show for the cameras. I've been working undercover with civil protection. I can't take too long or they'll get suspicious. I'm way behind on my
beating quota. That means he's jacking off, by the way. He's like a gooner. He has a beating quota. He has to beat off 300 times a day.
But look who's here. Great Scott! Gordon Freeman!
You see that line, I expected more warning? What does he mean by that? I'll talk about that in my video.
He was about to board the express to Nova Prospect. Well, Barney,
Shut the fuck up, you fucking nerds. Shut up. Be quiet. Mike Shapiro being able to slip into G-Man on demand is spooky. It's cool. I saw a bunch of posts saying, oh, the reason G-Man talks like that is because he's in multiple places at once. That's not like that's not canon. That's just how the actor views it. I thought that was a little weird that was making it everywhere, but it is cool to know.
Oh man, that's what I was afraid of. Get in here, Gordon.
Gosh damn you! I'm sorry I'm late, bro. I'm sorry.
I do not beat off 300 times a day, Gordon.
Barney Calhoun. Guys, I got a donation from Barney Calhoun. He says he doesn't beat off 300 times a day.
Blocking tutorials.
Thank you for the donor, bro. I appreciate that.
At times, we need to be certain the player has learned something, and the standard method, at least in game development, not in life, is to trap them behind a gate of some kind, where the player must demonstrate their knowledge to be able to continue. We try to disguise these gates.
Seal Zebra?
Sven Co-op Fright Manor stream when?
I don't know what that is, but I've been playing Sven Co-op lately. There's a lot of great, underrated Sven Co-op content. I did a video on Sven Co-op. Nobody watched it, but hopefully it was still a good video. Hopefully you guys liked it. I put a lot of effort into it.
As something natural, so it doesn't feel like the game has come to a halt.
I love this little puzzle. It's so simple. I don't know if he... I haven't read it all, but I don't know if he mentions that you can throw all the boxes out and they'll respawn, just in case you're completely fucking stupid.
So a simple stacking puzzle seemed like the best solution. We tested more complex designs, but they ended up being less...
Let's see if I can trigger that.
...the actual thing we needed the player to learn.
See? This just respawned. I didn't see what Adrian said there. Hopefully it wasn't too important. What is this?
Fall damage. Teaching players how to do things is an essential thing for the game to do. But for them to make confident decisions, they also need to understand the more subtle rules. This small moment covers two of those. First, it shows how far the player can fall without taking damage. Second, it introduces a bit of the game's vocabulary, how the game will communicate with them. Players often worry about taking fall damage, but they also worry about taking a step that they can't take back. So here, a welcoming crate to land on signals that dropping down is safe and it's the way forward. And when the crate breaks, it reinforces the physics simulation, and is likely the first time players will see that larger objects can be broken apart.
Interesting. If you prop climb, you can load the next map. Once you load the next map, you can soft lock by throwing all the boxes out again. That's pretty funny. Did I skipped some? Fuck, I didn't mean to skip some. I gotta climb back up and get them. Did I really skip? I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, I'll come back. Chad is saying I skipped the node. I'm sorry. Let me get it. I don't want to miss any of them. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, my tower is complete, I think. Take this guy's Half-Life license away. Fuck you, I need my Half-Life license. It's very important to me. Ah, damn it. I can just do this. Climb up this. Actually, how do I want to do this? Ooh! Still not enough. A barrel? A barrel might be enough. Ooh, there we go. My half license? Yes. I need it. Think you can no-clip in DevCom? Wait, well, no, this is about my ego, okay? This is about me. You know, I've gone on this spiel about how I'm the Half-Life Emperor or whatever, and then... What, I'm gonna no-clip? No, I don't need it. Oh, you're right, I did just skip a bunch of nodes. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Blocking tutorials 2. There are two failures of note in this tutorial. First, players can break it by tossing all the boxes out the window, which is obviously not great. This leaves them stuck and unable to continue, which we consider a game-stopping bug that must be fixed. A clean solution would have been to...
You consider? It's just like objectively is. What do you mean you consider?
The player could fit through, but not the crates. The problem was that we really only caught this problem late in development, and making even a simple change like that can have unpredictable, game-breaking consequences, and right before launch no less. Also, this issue was purely theoretical. We'd never actually seen players do it. Our playtests of the design space had gone smoothly, with players learning what they needed and moving on. So changing the room's design this late in the game could have disrupted that success in ways that we couldn't foresee. So we opted for a more conservative fix rather than something elegant. If you're curious,
Glad you went back for them. Also, that was super impressive. We have a guy who's praising me for my prop climbing. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I could do the very impressive act of putting boxes on top of each other. I'm glad someone was impressed. Thank you. This is wonderful for my ego and my self-perception.
try tossing all the boxes.
No, seriously, thank you. I'm glad someone admired it. I put a lot. I should have just no-clipped, but whatever. Oh, did I fucking stop it?
Tutorials 2. There are 2 failures of note.
Oh, yeah. And then what does this one say?
Blocking tutorials 3. The
This is a
second
lot.
failure in this tutorial space.
Oh,
is a
Eric
case
Smith. This guy
of
works on TF2.
where we accidentally teach the players something we didn't intend. This can be hard to avoid without extensive playtesting, since the game is always teaching, even when it's not by design. We cover a more extreme example of this later in Train Station. Some cases of misteaching are critical to fix, like if the player learns the wrong way to use a weapon or interact with a common element of the game. But this one was more subtle. While teaching players to move objects, we also taught them to stack physics objects to escape a space. Normally that's fine, except we don't deploy that puzzle later in the game, and teaching something irrelevant just clutters up their mental toolkit and makes it harder to readily keep useful things in mind later on. Worse,
Didn't Robin Walker work on TF2? Yeah, but he doesn't work on it right now, I don't
escape
think.
the play space become a problem later on, something we had to actively prevent in multiple areas. With so many physics-based objects in the game,
I'm gonna get in this
blocking
corner
behavior without
for
putting
fun.
ceilings
Watch.
everywhere wasn't really an option. In the end, we hoped players wouldn't overthink this early lesson, and when playtests showed players getting stuck later on, we made sure.
This is just for fun. Look, I'm in the fucking roof sky. Anyway. Okay, continue. We're gonna get on with the game, Unk, as you guys keep saying. I love this this first chapter. There's just so much beautiful world building. The world is so impressive and immersive. There's so much to the like. I don't know how many games that came out, you know, before Half-Life 2 had all these. You know, what's behind here? How many games had that attention to detail? And this is a very beautiful set piece. I'm sure they'll explain why before I do, but
Pick up that can. Contextualizing tutorials, creating a story scenario in which they happen, lets us do more than just stop the game to teach players something. We get to add narrative value to the moment. Here, teaching the player how to throw objects is combined with a narrative setup that gives them a choice in how to respond. After watching the Metro cops casually abuse citizens, it felt right to put the player in a similar position next. If they had opinions on how the citizens should have reacted, now they get to express them. Playtesting showed most players either
should already be finishing episode 5 at this point, Uncle. Listen, man. I love this game, okay? I'm sorry. It's a beautiful game. It's my favorite.
entirely.
It's my baby.
Comply initially, then retaliate after feeling humiliated. By keeping the moment relatively constrained, in both terms of player actions and the space itself, we could generally react appropriately to whatever choice they made.
Stupid. Yeah, dumb. Oh, fuck, hi.
Playtesting. Playtesting is a core part of how we make games. We can never fully predict how players will respond or what they'll take away from what we've built. So we test to learn and hopefully improve. During a playtest, we don't guide or talk to the player, even if they're stuck, as it's extremely unlikely that we'll be sitting there next to the player once the game ships.
Are you going to make a sequel to your video Half-Life and Sex for its 3-year anniversary?
I have to make a video called Half-Life and Sex 2 eventually, sloppy seconds.
For testers to
I have to. I'm not working on it, but I have to do it eventually just for the sake of the game.
Any interruptions risk skewing the data, so we only step in if there's a bug that's blocking progress or more.
Thank you for the 5, by the way. I really appreciate it. Professional. Your whole name isn't showing. Let me. What is your name? What is your whole name? Professional Doofus. That's a good name. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it.
Confusing that we need to understand what they're thinking.
I missed the latter half of that. What did he say?
Playtesting. Playtesting is a core part how we make games. We can never fully predict how players...
Oh, he's just explaining the importance of playtesting. You can tell Half-Life 2 is a very playtested game. I never see anyone get stuck like anywhere in this game. It's very obvious where you need to go, like everywhere. Ravenholm is a great example. I wonder if they're going to talk about that.
Early in a Half-Life game, one of our goals is to make promises to the player, giving them a sense of what to expect later on. From movies to TV shows and books, all great entertainment does this in some way, and video games are no different. The promises in a Half-Life game can take different forms.
Needed to drop some dough to celebrate the marriage. I appreciate that.
Some are simple, like offering just a glimpse of something intriguing. Others are more layered.
Bald guy,
the
LOL.
Interactions with Metro Cops.
He's
By
bald.
putting the player in
This
a
is
powerless position
his name is Eric
against them,
Kirchmer, by the way.
we
It's his
set the
face.
stage for that future moment when
He's
they
an
can
environment
finally
guy in
get to
Half-Life 2. I mean that's true. That's true.
Early in a Half-Life game, one of our goals is to make...
It does a really good job of drawing you in, especially this part where you look out and see the Citadel. Because that's the end point. The rest of the game is going to revolve around that. And Breen right next to it is like, okay, there's your destination and there's your enemy. Boom. It just draws it right next to, you know, all this fuckery. And one thing that they did say in the documentary that was like vindicating to me, I've been saying for years, the choice to set it in Eastern Europe is so beautiful because like the architecture of Eastern Europe instantly evokes like centuries of like terrible, you know, human authoritarianism that's like crushed people. So combining like Half-Life or Combine architecture directly into it, it creates this this very direct link between human authoritarianism and the Combine oppression. Which is, it's just very thoughtful and it works really well, and they don't really give Half-Life 2 credit for that. I talk about that in my video a little bit, and they mentioned it directly in the documentary, which I thought was awesome. What's this one?
The Citadel.
Oh, Eric Kirschman, I just mentioned this guy. What the fuck?
17 to highlight the Citadel and its dominance over the city, representing the Combine's complete and total power over humanity. It also needed to serve as a clear goal. Even at the start, you can see where your journey ends.
You think they'll do an anniversary of TF2? Probably not, if I had to bet, but I bet they'll do something for the orange box. Well, they might have a TF2 thing in it, but they love Portal way more. Portal is like their favorite baby. They'll if they do one, I bet Portal will receive more love than TF2.
Often missed it. A player's sense of depth and scale can be tricky on a computer monitor. If you've played any games in VR, you'll likely have noticed that scale feels more natural. Anyway, in this case, the Citadel's position above the player didn't help things either, which may be because FPS games train players to focus straight ahead or down at their feet. To improve the chances of players taking in the Citadel, we added birds flying towards the structure. A subtle trick
I never noticed that.
guide the player's view.
Oh, interesting.
Exploration.
Thanks, Eric.
After being herded through the train station by Metro Cops, we wanted to give the player a chance to explore. This plaza offered several ways to interact with citizens, Metro Cops, scanners, and the city infrastructure. We aimed for these interactions to continue building the world without needing explicit tutorials.
Can you talk about the XCCR? That'd be interesting.
Naturally, without any real training.
This is a good little area. Exactly what they described it to do. It does perfectly, immaculately.
One of the things we noticed in all of the reference images that we gathered for City 17 was that there were cables and wires everywhere, and that they were a large part of the high-frequency detail in view. We loved the look of these older European cities enmeshed in the haphazard web of modern life. We felt like we needed a solution for cables, ropes, and similar elements, and we wanted them to be dynamic. Our level designers were eager to create plug puzzles, and connecting a cord to each plug helped players better understand the mechanics. Early in production, we built a rope system and iterated on it throughout development. Under the hood,
God, this game is fucking amazing. Yes, Peebles. It is! It's amazing.
They can move independently. Each segment acts like
the people who made this game should be sainted, I said it.
Game, such as a gentle wind or the passing of a Combine gunship overhead. When rendered, each segment is shown.
And I see some fucking turncoats, okay? I see people who say that Half-Life 1 is way better, that Half-Life 2 is a bad game, that the beta would have been better, that the beta was so good, that the episodes are way better than Half-Life 2. I see these people celebrating the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary. When the upcoming Half-Life 2 Revolution comes, these traitors will be taken care of first, okay?
Facing the camera and is bump mapped. which is crucial for giving the ropes a realistic...
If you don't support Half-Life 2 in your casual opinions, you cannot celebrate its anniversary. We, the true Half-Life 2 fans, have earned this. I'm sorry. I'm being silly. I gotta calm down a little bit. But...
rounded appearance.
Playtesting Anecdote 1. One memorable playtest reminded us that we can never be certain what players are thinking or what lessons they've taken from their experience. This tester, after playing from...
Crazy how Half-Life 2 somehow feels big despite being technically very linear. They do such a good job of implying bigger spaces. Well, yeah, like literally the technology is used that way. This isn't a real place. This is the 3D skybox projecting this. That's like a very direct example. This is so much that I talk about in my video. I need to finish this stream and go work on that video.
thinking they could use an item they'd picked up earlier to unlock the door. While we'd seen them collect and drop several physics objects, they'd misunderstood what was happening. The tester believed that pressing the use key while holding an object moved it into an inventory because the item dropped straight down. We knew it was just gravity, but their assumption wasn't crazy. Some adventure games of that era did slide items into an invisible inventory that way. We explained there was no inventory, and the playtest continued. Later, we considered whether we needed to address this, but since no other playtesters had the same confusion, and all of our potential solutions were more
that person's crazy.
Necessary, we decided it was an outlier that was okay to remain.
That's true. They didn't need to address that. That's like insane.
Of how even the most subtle, overlooked details can mislead a player.
Is that everything in this little plaza over here? What's up, Landon?
The day we can prove
Breen's dialogue is so good. Everything, like Breen is just a great antagonist. Breen is a better antagonist than the Nihilith. Let's have that conversation. He's way fucking better.
Early game exploration. Up until this plaza, the player likely hasn't had to think much about their path.
This isn't like Bioshock Infinite, where the earlier versions are much more compelling and exciting. Half-Life 2 still feels like a complete statement. It's more of a statement. There's no statement to the Half-Life 2 beta. It's a heavy. Well, I guess there is. It's like it's sort of anti-industrial and whatever. You can read in it. You can media literacy it if you really wanted, but it's. Let's be real. It was crude, and it was. It's just nothing. There's nothing there. It's cool looking, but it would not have been as popular as my. I keep repeating myself, and I'm probably sounding like a fucking charlatan right now. Whether you are enjoying the game wrong, I'm sorry if that's how I'm coming off. You guys can enjoy whatever you want. Of course, I love the Half-Life 2 beta content as well. I've done videos about that, but there's just certain attitudes in the community that aggravate me because I'm a moron who cares too much about what people on the internet say.
As it's been clear and straightforward. But here, we wanted to encourage exploration, which meant making the way forward less obvious, which can produce a feeling of being lost or, worse, confused, as you might expect. These kinds of shifts can be tough, especially early in the game, when the player is still learning the game's guidance cues. Here, it's further complicated by force-fielded checkpoints, which allow NPC citizens to move through, but restrict the player, leading many playtesters to believe that there was a way to bypass them. Ultimately, it was extensive testing that helped us find the right visibility for the alley forward, using lighting, layout, and a wooden crate, an object players have already used as a sign they're headed in the right direction.
I never noticed this before. That's interesting. That is a detail I've never noticed before. That's really interesting. It really does draw you, that little crate. That's like a totally subconscious thing. That's actually very neat. I did not know that.
Strider. This simple moment is a promise that
I fucking missed it already, but
thing later in the game. Even an uncomplicated scene such as this really does require a lot of playtesting and iteration because of Half-Life's goal of not taking control away from the player. As you can imagine, it takes a lot of small tweaks to ensure that as many players as possible are looking at the right place at the right time here. The street layout and the Metrocop scene are all set to guide the player's gaze, perfectly framing the Strider when it appears.
I love this little set piece too. I just love it. This guy hanging on the APC. One of the sad things is that you don't get to drive the APC. That's something that I feel like they should have viewed that as like a promise, because since the game came out, people have wanted to drive one of these just to see how it works. What is in that little thing? It doesn't look like a regular vehicle. What do Combine vehicles look like? We still don't really know, and that's sad. Well, Ricky, it ain't that deep, bro. We all know that it just ain't as good as GTA. True, true. Boop.
Closed captions. During Half-Life 2 development, we were approached by folks interested in accessibility who encouraged us to go beyond...
Oh, what the fuck did I do? Leave me alone! Shit!
They requested a full-featured closed captioning system to capture all game sounds, not just dialogue. This turned out to be a much tougher challenge than expected. Half-Life 2 produced a wide variety of sounds, and categorizing them for captions was crucial. Prioritization was also key. Dialogue needed to stand out, and it had to be clear who was speaking. Ambient sounds, like distant combat, were important for setting the mood in some levels, but less so if there was an enemy shooting nearby. Our level designers also often reuse sounds in different contexts, so sound might require caption.
Holy fuck, how did I get over here? Did you see that?
Ultimately,
he like launched me, what the hell?
With its own caption data, formatted almost like a small version of HTML, giving us control over the visual style of each caption. As with the audio files, the caption data was too large to keep in memory, so we built an asynchronous caching system to handle it efficiently.
I don't know what any of that means, but that's cool that they were thinking about accessibility.
Physics simulation. Even though we began Half-Life 2 with...
I'm sorry, I don't have an encyclopedic, you know, archive of every single Valve employee probably like Tyler McVicker does. That's just never been... I know like a lot of important names, but I'm sure Jay Stelly is important. I just don't know who it is. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry if you came to me for like really interesting input. I bet Tyler probably gave some good stuff, but whatever.
Third-party physics simulation. It still took us years.
I got my own appeal. I got catching babies. Did Tyler do this? Probably not, right?
Our designers' ambitions. Maintaining a shippable level of quality and performance was something we knew would be a challenge along the way. But the more subtle issue...
Put buckets in the merry-go-round? Sure, why not? Sure, what the hell?
To what extent? We can't simulate everything, and even if we could, there are game design reasons why the experience is...
Does this count as a bucket?
We don't. In many cases, we deliberately bend the simulation to improve the player's experience. These adjustments usually go unnoticed because they align with player intentions.
Okay, you know what? If I go through all of this, is a lot. This is clearly they put this for people like me to like sit down and like really study these for videos. And I'm very sorry to do this after making you guys sit through like an hour and a half of me doing the early game. I'm just gonna skip to root canal, that way there's like something happening. I feel like I'm putting people to sleep with this a little bit. I know a lot of you guys are probably still interested in like the Half-Life dialogue and you know, the discussion around it and its creation, obviously. But that's a lot. We're not even to fucking Kleiner yet, and I've been live for like almost an hour and a half. I'm gonna go to root canal. I'm sorry. I will. There's still gonna be a lot of commentary to go through. Let me make sure I check that. But this. Listen, I think it'll make the stream better if I just skip ahead a little. I'm sorry. I really am. It's not because I'm bored. I'm interested in this, but it's you know, what makes a good stream. See, somebody's ZZZing in chat. They're sleepy. Why are you guys scamming? Spam, not scamming, but spamming. Take this guy down. Is this hard mode? Why am I killing this guy so fast? What's going on? Those 2 hits.
Metro Cop scene. This is another scene designed to make it clear that the Metro Cops are the bad guys. Except this time the player has a weapon.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't even hear the nodes unless I turn up the volume enough. Your voice becomes a jump scare and a pain on my ears. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn it up a little bit. I didn't know it was that bad.
And can finally do something about it. That something comes out
is
of
this
the barrel
better?
of a gun. We knew we needed the player to feel righteous, and this moment was part of creating that. The Metro Cops are still human, unlike the rest of the Combine in the game, so we felt like we had to go the extra mile in making sure the player's actions felt like justice and not just wrath.
Bye-bye. This is so sad, you know. They're probably a couple, or brother and sister of some kind. You always gotta think what happened to these people in Gordon's wake, you know? It's sad. Also, I didn't talk about this in the video, really. I guess I kinda did. The graffiti in Half-Life 2 is really cool. Like, basically all of it is just really, really interesting. Just really awesome. Very, very neat. I feel like Aussie was right earlier. The ragdolls do seem like they're hitting the ground harder. So glad I don't have to hear pro Jared reading Half-Life 2 trivia. So true. Half-Life, for the people who don't know what that guy in chat's talking about, the Half-Life 2 update mod that's on Steam includes like fan commentary, and it's got notes from people that are like, okay, that's cool. Like Ross Scott does one, but most of it is like, did you know gaming people? And it's really not anything wrong with these people, but it's very cool that we have real developer dialogue. I did stream the Did You Know Gaming update fucking commentary notes before. I went through and played Half-Life 2 with those, but it's very, very cool that we have like real ones from real Valve employees. That's like actually awesome. Thank you to the people at Valve who made this happen. I don't know if NoClip was involved with telling me to do this, but this is just amazing. It's just very good. It's very, very neat.
Staircase.
Oh, this moves.
There are situations throughout the game that stem from simple and quite straightforward design goals, and this staircase features 2 of them. The first was to frame the Citadel as it awakened, showing the player they stirred up the hive. The second was to showcase our ragdoll system. While it's
Chris,
standard
yeah.
now, in 2004 it was still a novelty to see bodies tumble realistically, and stairs provided a perfect stage to make that happen.
I never even thought about this being like tech like that. I just thought it was cool because it frames the Citadel really well. I never thought about the ragdoll physics on the stairs. Maybe this game is a tech demo. Oh, fuck. One shot did 20 damage. This actually might be trickier than I was expecting.
City 17 awakens. The early train station section was designed to make the city feel indifferent toward the player, as if Gordon is just another nameless, faceless citizen, ripe for subjugation. But during the tenement raid and rooftop chase, the city identifies the player as an anomaly and starts to stir. Now, with the player as the aggressor, the city fully turns its attention on them. The Overwatch PA system, first heard during the raid, played a key role in delivering this message. If players listen closely, there's a lot of information about the city's awareness. Even when players didn't pay attention, though, the audio treatment still conveyed the emotional message we were aiming for.
True. It's just really good. It's urgent, kind of ambient. You get the impression of a big city, but something's going on, you know? It sounds like a little bit of chaos. Oh, what was this? Oh, fuck. I gotta go get this node. I almost left one behind again. Fuck.
Explosive barrels. Here, we introduce explosive barrels, a staple of first-person shooters, but with a new twist. The second pistol shot sets the barrel on fire, starting a timed detonation. A third shot will detonate the barrel immediately. This way, players could either delay the explosion or trigger it right away, depending on the situation. Players may want to feed an explosive barrel to a barnacle and then shoot it twice as a handy way to safely dispatch a cluster of them. The delayed explosion also made for a more interesting...
I never really noticed the framing of the Citadel behind the Metrocop. That's fucking art. It's really cool. It's like, this game does, like, its iconography and its art is just, it's so good. It's beautiful, and it blows Half-Life 1 out of the water. I'm sorry, it just does. I like the cartoony kind of, it's not really cartoony, but it's like a comic book kind of like, it's like a sci-fi horror. It's like what's his name? Is it like Alien kind of thing going on in Half-Life 1? But there's just nothing that compares to the artistry and craftsmanship that went into Half-Life 2. And Team Fortress 2, for the record.
But also were internally favored by level designers.
Those are the two most beautiful Valve games, are Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2. That's my opinion.
Designers who often felt like the game could never have enough of them.
I also never really thought of the fact that the barrels are so intuitive and they're like designed intentionally. Like they had to make the choice. Like Half-Life 1 doesn't have barrels to do that with the timer. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Anyway, let me continue a little bit. If you guys have thoughts about Half-Life 2, write them in chat. I'm reading them. I'm trying to read them, the ones that are good and interesting. Yo, take care, Dude the Ninja. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it.
Lambda caches. Technically, the first Lambda cache is at Kleiner's lab, but this is the first one the player finds on their own. We added Lambda caches to encourage exploration and to hint at players where hidden resources could be found, with a fiction being that they were being placed by the Resistance as part of their underground rebellion. In Half-Life, the contents of supply crates were predetermined by the level design. In Shell 2, we
Is the opinion that Half-Life 2 is better because there's no Zen still valid or overused? It's true. It's just true. There's no part of Half-Life 2 that's as bad as Zen. And I love Half-Life 1, but that's just an undeniable fact.
Produce adaptive item crates that give the player whatever they are low on at the time, based on resource targets set by the level designer.
Interesting. What's this one?
Scanners.
Oh.
Scanners presented a tricky game design challenge. While we liked how their dystopian presence helped convey the Combine occupation as an oppressive surveillance state, we didn't actually want them to shoot at the player.
They have one later, though, right?
Found that aiming into the
they have a scanner later in the game. Maybe he just talks about this in a second, but they have a scanner later in the game that does, or it shoots something at you in the uprising.
Sky to hit a small mobile enemy with a constant height advantage was something we couldn't make fun. Since we loved their role in the story, we decided that in combat, scanners would serve primarily as eyes, alerting nearby enemies to the player's presence, a feature we reinforced with sound effects from the soldiers. Beyond that, they'd only be able to harass the player with bright lights and occasionally dive bomb after taking enough damage.
The Wasteland scanner, yeah. Oh, the old fire. Oh, they added the old fire. Oh, my heart bleeds red for Valve today. Thank you, Valve, for adding the old fire. I love it. It's so beautiful.
Pistol design. The standard pistol is...
They hate this fucking pistol and they're wrong. It's good. It's good.
Functioning not only as the first range weapon you learn to use, but also as a method to interact with physics and destructive objects at a safe...
Okay, maybe it's not that good, but it's fine, okay?
...distance for the entirety of the game. To help make it feel more responsive and fun to use, the pistol employs...
Hi, Richter. Hi, Reza.
...unique to it in the game. The gun...
Zen is Kino. Conceptually, kind of, it's pretty cool. But it sucks to play, I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. I missed a node?
As fast as the player can click their input button.
Oh, fuck, I did. No.
Overwatch.
Thank you for pointing that out, Joe.
During development, we generated the Overwatch voice using a...
Is that you in the thumbnail? What is the thumbnail? I kind of forgot. What is the thumbnail on the stream that people think is probably me? The Pepe? Yeah, that's me. That's me, the Pepe.
A text-to-speech tool. But as we neared shipping, we realized we didn't actually have the rights to use it, so we held auditions with voice actors to find someone who could match the qualities we liked in the generated lines. It didn't take long before we found Ellen McLean, whose delivery was exactly what we were looking for. In her sessions, we played the generated lines for her to mimic, though in her own style. She was a bit sarcastic at first, given that she was being asked to replicate such a robotic delivery, but years later when she returned for her iconic role as GLaDOS in Portal, she'd found a way to creatively integrate that tone into her performance.
Oh, that's a cute little story. I guess GLaDOS is kind of a role that was made for Ellen, or they made it with her in mind. I don't know if that's really what they're saying, but like you know, that they found a better role for her sarcastic tone. That's actually pretty cute. There's a lot of really good information in here that's very interesting. I wonder what Marfy Black thinks of this update. I always liked the way Zen sucks. I mean, realistically, it would be a terrible experience for a human being to be in Zen. So maybe it sucks. It's sucking is like fitting in a way, I guess. Also, they weren't kidding. This is like a pretty difficult difficulty. Pretty challenging, maybe would be a better word to not be redundant. Holy fuck! I'm getting pieced up. Ah, fuck. No, come on. I can last longer than that. Fuck. This is bad. Fuck. I'm bad. I'm bad at Half-Life 2, guys. I take it all back. I'm actually not a real Half-Life 2 fan. I'm just LARPing. I'm just pretending. It's a complete farce. Okay, own that guy. Owned him. Owned him to death. I need to heal up because I'm getting fucking... Oh!
Shatter glass. When designing early levels where there are fewer mechanics in the player's toolkit, we found that it's just as engaging to spotlight new technical features instead, as we did here with breakable glass. For the shattering effect, glass was divided into a grid of small squares, allowing us to track which were intact or broken, and to blow out larger sections once enough squares were no longer connected. Each square was rendered with a unique texture based on the status of its neighboring squares, creating the sharp, jagged edges between broken and intact glass. While breaking glass is now commonplace in games, it was something we hadn't seen much back when we were making Half-Life 2, and we're incredibly happy with the level of fidelity and dynamicism it brought to the game.
And that's the thing, is there's so much in Half-Life 2 that is sort of, we take for granted. It's sad. I've never sat down and really thought about. Somebody had to sit down and program the glass breaking. You gotta love the world. You gotta love and appreciate everything. Okay, the more you can appreciate, the better your life will be.
Peekaboo. The Combine Attack Helicopter as central antagonist was something we wanted to develop throughout the entire chapter. The relentless chopper became a character in its own right. Here, if you listen and look overhead, you can hear its engine and see it flying along the train tracks and into the distance.
Whoa.
This first glimpse
Flinging
is a
around.
small piece of foreshadowing.
Fling into space.
With its presence becoming more pronounced over time. Until
That's me over time, that's me.
You're squaring off against it.
Dave Roller just shouted me out. You guys hear that? He's a big fan. He said he loved the sex of Half-Life or whatever the fuck the video is called, is what he told me. I think that's a train broke or something. I don't know what's going on there.
Iterative passes. Some chapters of the game, such as the on-foot sections of the canals in Ravenholm, were developed in multiple passes by different cabals. We found that handing
Cabals?
off maps
Okay.
in this way led to greater variety in the experience, and a higher density of interesting moments, as each...
I heard they added more achievements. I actually don't know if that's true. Because, I'd achieve... Yeah, I got everything in Half-Life 2. And I've had everything for years, so...
Cabal added
I don't think they
their
added
unique
anything.
touches
Maybe
to
they
the
added something to the episodes, I don't know.
In the on-foot portion of the canals, the first pass established the art direction and the player path, along with the broad strokes of the experience and some major beats. But the team-wide alpha playtest identified insufficient tension and a somewhat monotonous experience here. In our second pass, we returned to the map solely focused on creating that tension and greatly increased the density of moment-to-moment scenarios.
Yeah, and I've played the Half-Life 2 beta, or the leak version of this. It's in Half-Life 2, and I actually know exactly what he means. It's way more simple, and it's just big corridors, big like this. There's an area that's like this that goes on for like way too fucking long, where you're just going through a bunch of winding little, I guess you could say sewers like this. They made this area way better, like just way infinitely better, to be honest. Maybe I should do a video about this update itself eventually. I don't know if people would watch that, but...
Water shader. The most complex shader we made for the game was the water shader, which made full use of the newly available programmable graphics cards. When water was...
Yeah, while he talks, I'm gonna grab something to drink. I'm sorry. I'll play it again in a minute, maybe, or maybe I'll just read it, but...
Present, the scene was rendered 3 times. First, the underwater world for refraction, second, a reflected view, and third, the parts above the water. When rendering the water surface, we blended the refractive and reflective views, showing more reflection at...
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back, I promise.
Equation. We also
As I drown to death.
ground depth below the water's surface, making it more
Sorry about that.
transparent and less refractive in shallow areas. Additionally, we had...
Hassan, shut up, bro. That was like 10 seconds, okay? Come on.
Create 2 alternate water rendering techniques for lower-end graphics cards. Mid-range cards displayed a lower detail reflection without refraction or transparency, while low-end cards only rendered a partially transparent surface.
Okay, well that was kind of boring, but the water in this game still looks really good. To be honest, I feel like I see games with water that still looks worse than this. Games coming out like this year that still have water that looks worse than this, or am I like tripping? I don't know.
Interstitial scenes. As playtesting progressed,
He's drinking the water.
Players lost track of their goal, which isn't uncommon in a game.
It said that at the beginning, did it?
To address this, we added smaller interstitial scenes to help guide players along their path and reinforce their objective. After finishing the bulk of development on our larger choreo scenes, like Kleiner's lab, putting these smaller scenes together became relatively straightforward. We discovered that...
On the topic of an earlier version of this section of video I always wanted to see someone make was like comparing Half-Life 2 areas to earlier scrapped counterparts to see if they made the right call. That would be interesting, like the evolution of Half-Life 2 or something. That would be neat.
Characters in these moments worked much better than relying on passive storytelling, or even some sort of reminder you'd find baked into a pause menu.
Okay, so he's saying that this is, like little areas like this where you kind of get run into a guy, serve as like a reinforcement that you're going the right way. Which is, interesting. I never thought of them like that. I thought it was just for world building, but I guess it does also do that.
God.
Oh, they fixed G-Man. Oh, he's kind of floating a little bit, but they fixed the G-Man on the TV. Kind of.
The Combine's reckoning has come.
Look, we're just a lookout for the Underground Railroad. Main station's right around the corner. They'll get you started on the right foot. Meanwhile, let my Vortigaunt friend here give you a jolt.
Is it gonna be blue? Is it gonna be blue? Is his Vortigaunt beam gonna be blue? It's not. Fake. Fake. I enable classic effects, and the fucking Vortigaunt beam is still green. That's not how the classic effects are, okay? In the original version of Half-Life 2, when it came out, the Vortigaunt shit is blue, which doesn't even make sense. But I enabled classic effects, so it should be changed. Fucking F, Valve. Your update literally sucks, okay?
Civil protection catches you down here.
That's a joke.
Bad news for the whole railroad.
We serve the same.
Do you have any thoughts on Borderlands and how it's been heavily affected by Half-Life? Borderlands is made by Gearbox, if you didn't know. Yeah, I knew it was Gearbox. I knew that there's I think in Borderlands there's I have a friend who's really into Borderlands, is the only reason I know this. Is there's a boss in either Borderlands 1 or 2 that's basically the Gene Worm from Opposing Force that they just made again. Because it's Gearbox, and fuck it, they already made that boss before, they can just reuse it, who cares? Yeah. I don't have any other thoughts about Borderlands. I really haven't played it much, but I'm aware of the kind of intersection there. And with Randy, Greasy Randy or whatever, there's like a whole meme about Randy Pitchford, but I don't know much else. Did they rotate the TV? It kind of looks like it. It's a little weird. No, I gotta listen to
Boxcar Bill.
Laura Dubik.
This small scene
Excuse me.
originally featured 2 human characters, but later in development, we replaced one with a Vortigaunt. We wanted to show that Vortigaunts were coexisting with humans and resisting the Combine as well. We also introduced their ability to heal the player, although we didn't fully capitalize on that feature throughout the game.
Alright guys, and there's no reason to do this, but just if you're cool, and if you're a bountiful, wonderful person, put a J in chat. Just type a J. I'm just kind of curious, you know, how many people are listening to this actively? You know, if you're drawing something right now, I heard Dude the Ninja was in chat drawing earlier. You know, take a break from that and just type J. I want to see how many J's show up. I love to do this. I love to just see a random letter pour in. It's a beautiful thing. Richter the Purist? Yeah, I'm like an obnoxious snob. I'm sorry. There's all the J's. Look at the J's. The beautiful, beautiful J's. Not like Jordans, not like shoes. The letter J. I'm listening, but I'm not bountiful. Interesting. I bet you probably are, anyway.
Vortigaunts became a useful narrative tool for keeping dialogue brief, as their hive mind justified their full knowledge of the world and the player's goals. This meant they never had to ask questions, neatly sidestepping the challenge of writing dialogue for a silent protagonist.
Interesting. I love this guy, Boxcar Joe.
Get out of here.
We're gonna corner you. We're gonna beat you to death. According to Chat AI summary, viewers are discussing a change in the Borderlands game due to an update. The TV has been rotated. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. What did you think of the documentary? I talked about it earlier, but it's good. There's some stuff that I wish they would have talked about that they didn't because they're fucking millennials. They don't get it like us true Valve Zoomers do. But they did a great job. There's a lot of great material in there. They put it together well. There was some great visuals, and they brought together some genuinely groundbreaking material. I'm jealous. Valve needs to reach out to me, bro. They need to let me make the next one. They need to let me make another Half-Life 2 documentary. Anyway, me and Ratlobber. Look how beautiful it looks. And I know that the frame rate isn't great, but look at, you know, the coloration of the lighting around the fire. I always felt like it just looks so much better with the old sprite particles or whatever they're called. I don't know. They look weird with the new one. Oh shit.
Particles. For the Source engine, we invested in expanding particle and special effects technology. This allowed for more realistic and complex particle movement, as well as more intricate shapes and shader effects. In particular, adding bump mapping to our particles features made a huge difference in the volumetric look of them. While later iterations of the Source engine include a powerful particle system editor, the original version used in Half-Life 2 relied on handcrafted effects, each requiring a programmer to meticulously build the effect manually, which was a pretty labor-intensive process.
Looks good though. Looks hot, you know. It looks like a real fire. This would burn the fuck out of you. Ow, like that, yeah. Anyway. Get your hands off the bird. I guess the bird's dead anyway.
Barnacle Introduction. Because barnacles can be
Is his name
confusing when
Dassault?
first encountered, we wanted to introduce them in a way that showed players their behavior at a safe distance. We decided to do that through a nature show style predator-prey scene. But, as always, scenes like this took a lot of iteration to get players to reliably see.
It's very narrow. I think most people would probably see that. Your day one Half-Life 2 comparison was a banger. It sucks. It could have been so much better. That video is like embarrassing. That video has a lot of really embarrassing mistakes in it. I have a pinned comment on that video for a reason. But I'm glad you liked it at least. Firing squad. Very sad. Let's see what this is.
Surface properties. We play custom footstep sounds when the player walks on the slippery mud. This was a system called Surface Properties that used the material type to determine the sounds and other effects that should occur when walked on or shot at. Earlier in development, we...
Richter, did you hear about Linkin Park returning? Also, how is your husband, and are you still doing semen retention? I can't even dignify that with a response. That's just whole message is just throw it in the garbage.
had an effect that slowed players' movement on mud surfaces. However, this was removed in the shipping version as it was decided it was too punishing.
Mounted gun gallery. There are a few things going on in the scene. The turret firing at the breakable crates behind teaches players not to take the threat head-on and instead utilize the sewer route to defeat it. And when they reach the turret, players enjoy using it in a shooting gallery with a wave of Combine soldiers and dive-bombing scanners.
Game still feels easy.
We also begin to introduce the missile
Veteran
firing
difficulty,
Combine
and it's still
APC
easy.
that pushes the players along and will show up again later in the
I'm just
chapter.
too good. I love this little bit. Half-Life 1 has a really good turret sequence in it too, with the Vortigons. This is awesome. This is really cool. All these guys flooding in. You know, this thing over here. This guy tries to use these on you, I think, if I remember correctly. He does. He almost gets my ass because I'm stupid. And then this APC blows this up. Which is just sad, you know. I could sit there and use it forever. This APC had to ruin everything. And that's when it establishes the APC as the primary antagonist of Half-Life 2. You spend the rest of the game trying to kill the APC fuck and falling off of ledges like a moron. Hey Richter, did you hear about Abraham Lincoln returning, and how's your rifle, and are you still doing Civil War retention? What does that mean?
Rise and shine.
So true, so true. What a glorious game. And see, the Rise and Shine, Mr. Freeman, is just so iconic. And that's just I know that's the opening line of the game, but I don't know if there's anything in Half-Life 1 that's like that crazy recognizable. I guess that Scientist Screams and, Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late. It's good, but like Rise and Shine, Mr. Freeman, it sounds like a historic, it sounds like a JFK quote or something. It's so good. Half-Life 2 is genuinely a very well-written game. I know some people don't think it is. I think the episodes are worse written, but they're still pretty good. It's just got some glaring problems. Like not being finished.
But there's others up ahead.
Get Tyler McDicker in the he would be funny to have on the stream. I'll message him. Is he online? He's online on mobile. He's probably like in bed or something. I'm not really close with Tyler. I don't know him that well. But he did come on my stream once a very, very long time ago. It was very awkward. Ugh, shit. I don't know if you guys want to listen to Tyler anyway. You guys are here for me, right? My unique perspective on the Half-Life 2 25th anniversary. It's totally different from everybody else's. Probably not, but... Give me a head here. Ugh. The end of Half-Life 2 has weak writing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The ending of Half-Life 2 is weak writing? You're like rage baiting. Time, Mr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? No, that is a better ending speech than the Half-Life 1 ending speech by miles. It's amazing. It's really good. It's so memorable. The visuals are great. I guess that's not the writing, but you know what I mean. Also, I'm getting owned over here. This is bad. I'm gonna take care of this fucking guy. Holy fuck, die. Oh, he does say Dr. Freeman. I'm sorry. Look at me, I'm saying how iconic this line is, and I fucking misquote it.
Running around a corner into a new area just to see enemies standing there is always awkward, and it makes the world feel less alive and more like a shooting gallery. So we were motivated to introduce enemies into combat spaces in more interesting...
I just think you're funnier than Tyler, honestly. Thank you, the random freak. I don't know how high of a bar that is, but I appreciate it.
...dynamic ways that would communicate planning and intentionality on their part. As if these soldiers had had a plan for Gordon even before he showed up. The Metro cops in this scene jump down into this space via scripted sequences, and later in the game we use rappelling in a similar way. It doesn't matter where they're coming from in reality because players end up telling that story to themselves. We found that in the end, combat should have a story implied in its setup, an ambush, a surprise, a surge, and assault.
Did the lungfish refuse to breathe air? It did not.
Breen has so much good. There's so much gold in. I think Laidlaw looks back on Breen and like cringes. He says he was copying something else, but to me, I always saw Breen as like one of my favorite antagonists in like any game. He's really good.
All of these scenarios use much of the...
I talk about all this in my video. I really need to make it once I'm done with the stream. I talk about everything I love about this game in that video. It'll probably piss some people off, but I hope people like it. I'll have it out before the month's over for sure. I should probably grind. Maybe I'll if I can get my hands on a bunch of Adderall, I'll take a bunch of Adderall and just work on it all night. Just kidding, I don't have access to Adderall. I wish I did, because I definitely have ADHD.
AI, but all felt different to playtesters.
Yeah, this is a neat little sequence. I feel like it's kind of underrated. Just this little walkthrough, you get this unique guy up here, guy jumping down. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the world building. Maybe not the world building is what I'm saying, but the set dressing. You know, it feels like a big world. Somebody in chat said it earlier. It really does feel like... It's larger than life. The game feels bigger than it really is. It's great. I love that, too. Fuck you. Gotta find Richard Plover time a plug. No. So the FBI agents, you know, watching my stream, I'm sure there's a ton of them. I'm not looking for drugs, okay? I'll get my prescription, okay?
Barnacle bowling. This is a satisfying example of how a bunch of design elements can come together in a matrix of interactions to create a memorable scenario for the player. We got barnacles, our physics simulations, slippery mud surface properties, and last but not least, explosive barrels. You've been
talking about this video you're making. I can't wait to see it. It's also, what the fuck? Why is Corpso 1 flying down the fucking... What the fuck? You guys see that? I've never seen that before. The video is not going to be like amazing, but it's my thoughts on the game, and hopefully people like it. Okay, I don't want to hype it up too much because it's a little bit rushed, but it's my thoughts. I hope it contributes to the discourse a little.
Started all these on their own, but they're able to snap together naturally to create a moment we called Barnacle Bowling.
Barnacle Bowling. It's an awesome little scene here. Whoa! Not when it doesn't kill any of them. Are the barnacles broken? What happened there? Maybe this is the worst game ever, actually, now that I think about it. None of the barnacles died. Sucks. New Interloper demo? I have to do an Interloper video, I really do. I just absolutely have to. There's videos about Interloper that get a lot of views, and it is interesting. There's elements of it that I don't think people have really explored in their videos. And I have my own thoughts about it that I think people might want to hear, maybe. I don't know. Freaky Richter be like Half-Life and sex. Is the implication that I'm already freaky? Because I did make Half-Life and sex. That is I did do that. I did make a video called that. What's going on here? I'm gonna get pieced up by these Metro cops. They do a lot of damage. Oh, or I'll get exploded. That also can happen. Okay. Thank you to everybody who's come out to the stream, by the way. I really appreciate it. I know I've been really inactive lately. I mean, hopefully it's a little understandable with, like, getting married and stuff. That's, like, a lot going on in the personal life. And also, the videos have been getting longer. Hopefully the longer waits between videos is kind of reflected in their quality a little, but... I really should get back to the days where I was making, like, an 8-minute video every week, because I feel like that was when I was probably the most, like, relevant to people. And like it was just fun. It was fun to it was like being a teacher. You come back every week with like some new shit to talk about. Whereas now it's almost like they're like pseudo documentaries, and people don't seem to like them as much as the little bite-sized stuff. So I don't know. Sorry for babbling.
Physics in puzzles. Often, simpler mechanics encountered earlier in the game.
This puzzle makes Half-Life 1 fans cry.
Pulled from more complex.
They hate it.
Form of training. The teeter-totter puzzle, the first physics-based contraption in the game, was actually derived from a later, more intricate washing machine puzzle in the canals.
Yeah.
Uses the same
They talk about that in the
principles of
documentary.
maps and ramps, but in a more straightforward way that players can directly interact with, helping them understand the game's physics and making later puzzles easier to...
I watch Richter more on UFR than his own channel. That's very strange. I feel like I act like a completely different person on there.
The nature of the physics system, with the placement of cement blocks and the player's own weight both factoring into the solution.
Bro has a master's in yaponometry. I guess probably true. I don't know how much real substance I've been bringing forward on the stream, but I've been having a good time. I hope you guys have too. This is that damn hunter chopper, the antagonist to this part.
Combine attack helicopter. Players have had glimpses before, but here's where we fully introduce the main boss of the Canals chapter, the Combine attack helicopter. This chopper relentlessly destroys a player's cover, forcing them to move forward or risk being gunned down. We wanted this sequence to feel tense and menacing, with the helicopter...
It does. It is very... It's one of the spookiest parts of Half-Life 2.
That intensity through the canals until the final showdown in the reservoir.
The reservoir?
We heavily constrained the helicopter's movement based on specific gameplay goals. In this map, designed as a dash from cover to cover under helicopter fire, we created a ring path in the sky above the arena. The helicopter always travels to the farthest point of...
Richter, someone said you're gay and your fiance is a dude. Is it true? It's not true, but you can believe whatever you want. I can't stop you.
It's easier for us to place cover in just the right spots.
Normal maps.
Whoa, that's really weird.
Normal maps. Half-Life 2 was developed during an exciting time for graphics, as the first programmable shader-supported graphics cards were hitting the market. Using this technology, we became one of the first games to implement normal maps, a technique that enhanced the lighting on surface geometry. The normal map described the surface's roughness, allowing each pixel of a polygon to be lit in a way that made surfaces appear bumpier and more detailed than ever possible.
Where'd you get the Alex picture for the thumbnail? It and the Gordon render are the renders I had made for my video I'm working on. They'll probably be the thumbnail of the next video. Unless I make something better, I don't know. They were made by Jaunty Web. He does good work.
Autosave dangerous.
Also, music in this game is so good. That's also very
in
underrated.
Half-Life 1, we had a set of autosaves throughout the game, hand placed by level design.
Episode 3 is garbage. I disagree. I think Episode 3 is really good. The only thing I would change about Episode 3 is there's a part at the end where the Vortigaunts save Gordon again. And I get that they did that for the idea of, oh, well, if somebody wanted to make a Half-Life 4, there's a place to pick up. But I think Gordon leaving... and I guess they kind of did this with Alex, right? But Gordon being left behind for Alex is really good. And by Alex, I meant Half-Life Alex in the first part of that sentence. That's... I don't know. I like it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was fitting. I think if Episode 3 came out and they didn't have the Vortigaunt thing at the end, I would have been like, wow, that was a really good conclusion. They got a great... They made something beautiful there.
Liners and triggered when the player reached some specific moment or position in the game. This ensured that the game was automatically saved for you as you traversed through Black Mesa's corridors. In Half-Life 2, we found ourselves
Holy
needing
shit, this is a lot of text.
The problem arose in some of the more complex arenas we'd built. Some of those encounters would last for quite a while and features multiple sets of enemies. Others were long, sprawling mixes of exploration and combat without any clear separation between the two. We never want an autosave where the player is in danger of dying right after loading the game, because that could place the player in a death loop. If you played enough games back then, you definitely found yourself in this situation at least once. So unless we deliberately crafted pauses in every arena's flow,
I think that people wouldn't have liked that it wouldn't be an explicitly happy ending. That's true. They wouldn't have liked it, but it would have been challenging and it would have been meaningful. I like the dynamic that Episode 3 has of you don't know what happened to humanity. I like the idea that, Half-Life and Half-Life 2, this is a series about Gordon. And obviously, people will talk about the expansions, but I personally don't view them as canon to the Half-Life 2 continuity. Personally, that's my opinion. So my idea that this series that's been about Gordon, for it to come to the final moment where Gordon isn't important anymore, Gordon's done his job, I think that's really cool. And I don't know, there's something that just has, listen, my Zoomer lingo is going to come out. There's something that has Riz about having like an ambiguous ending. Like The Sopranos did it, Inception did it. There's something that I think it sticks with people. They grapple with it for a really long time. They have a really hard time grappling with the idea of an ambiguous ending that doesn't tell them what they want. But I think it's really cool. I think Half-Life ending Half-Life with that would have been pretty cool and pretty compelling in my personal opinion.
There wasn't always a safe place to put an autosave. After some experimentation, we implemented a feature called Autosave Dangerous. This was a level designer tool that combined an autosave with an associated time frame. When triggered by the level designer, it immediately saved the game, but kept the save off to the side, not available as a save game to load from. If the player then stayed alive for the specified time frame, then the save would be committed and used as the most recent autosave. This allowed level designers to put an autosave at a reasonable place or time in an arena, specify a time, like 30 seconds, and if the player was still alive for 30 seconds, the autosave would be used.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. I didn't know there was so much thought behind the autosaving system. And see, and that's what I mean about games like this. You kind of take everything for granted, because, I would never know there was a hidden autosave. That's just something that you would never know unless you were a programmer, ripping the game apart, which I'm not. Most people aren't.
Soundscape.
There's a lot of things like that, attention to detail and love that go into a game like this that never get really noticed. I'm very grateful that Valve put this out so that people can learn more about that, about those little efforts.
Soundscapes. In Half-Life 1, ambient sounds were placed by hand and then individually tuned. For Half-Life 2, we wanted more ambient sounds in our environment with higher quality and less manual effort for placement. So we built a system that we call the soundscape system. A soundscape is basically a small program that controls which ambient sounds play, where they come from, and then how they behave in a specific environment. So flies buzzing, wind blowing, birds, a distant train, distant combat. The soundscape system could then randomly select and play these sounds, and also, really importantly, handle the smooth transition as the player moves through environments. Soundscapes can also contain other soundscapes, and that allows us to create reusable collections of sounds. So, for instance, distant combat might be small arms fire, distant explosions, a passing helicopter. And these soundscapes would dynamically assemble and play from many individual sounds, and that helps us avoid the artificial feel of a single looping track. Overall, the soundscape system was a real workhorse for audio in Half-Life 2, and it's pretty much responsible for every sound you hear that isn't directly driven by gameplay.
Yeah, there's a great amount of craftsmanship that went into Half-Life 2 sound design as well, obviously. Kelly Bailey, legend, made the soundtrack for both games. He does phenomenal work. He fucking cooked really hard. Especially the episodes have some great songs on them. I'm glad all that stuff is on like Spotify also, which is great. Didn't used to be, but the perks of being a new Half-Life fan, I guess. You guys walk in and you get, if you walked into Half-Life, the Half-Life community in the last year, you got fucking, you got Half-Life Anniversary, you got Half-Life 2 Anniversary, you got every song on Spotify, you got to fucking see free TVs. It's all handed on a platter. People used to have to work for this, not me, because I'm too young to remember, and I never contributed to any of the crazy, history and archiving of Half-Life, but, people used to work really hard to uncover shit like this. It's really awesome that it's out there for people to just get into casually now and not have to read a fucking Wikipedia article.
Get in here, hurry! Civil protection is on to us. We're tearing up the railroad, covering our tracks. Looks like you're gonna be the last one through. Be glad you're not the guy they're looking for. Poor bastard doesn't stand a chance. Sounds like they're calling in every CP unit in City 17. Now they're flooding the areas up ahead.
Man, hack, Matt.
Before they sweep through here. Oh shit! Too late!
Alright, let's take care of these. Even though this guy dies 10 seconds later anyway, no matter what you do. Which is sad. I point that out every time I play this. I gotta find new observations to make about this game. I played it too much. I just mention the same thing every time.
That was a close call. Thanks for your help. Look, it isn't safe here. I'll give you some supplies to keep you going, and you really gotta go.
Manhack Map. We called this guy Manhack Map. We wanted to give players the sense that hundreds of citizens inhabited the hidden nooks and crannies of City 17. At this point in the game, it had been a while since players had seen a citizen, and we wanted to explain the significance of the Manhacks, which was the first physics-based enemy that we created. In the original concept,
the Manhack
there was a video
arcade
in the city where players could fly Manhacks around to attack virtual citizens. Eventually, players would discover that the Manhacks were real, and so were the citizens. As the Combine occupation became more fleshed out, this idea of a video arcade became an odd fit and eventually fell by the wayside.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Thanks, you're gonna die in like 2 seconds, bro. Sorry, I can't even save you if I wanted to. You know what's really good? I know a lot of people hate the manhacks, but fighting them with the gravity gun is like awesome. And that later city segment in Half-Life 2, where you finally get to fight the manhacks with the gravity gun, that is like an awesome part of the game. It's amazing to, they're kind of a pain in the ass early on. It's sort of like the turning the Hunter Chopper gun on the Hunter Chopper. That's like awesome. When you get the gun that the helicopter itself has and use it on them, that's sort of what it feels like when you use your gravity gun to just punt the fucking the manhacks into a wall. It's amazing. These guys rush up. And they get owned. Kelly Bailey needs to make an album in the style of Half-Life 2 combat music. It's weird, I don't think he's even a... Yeah, he was a sound designer and like a programmer. He wasn't even really like a composer when he made Half-Life 1 soundtrack, I think. I watched a really interesting video about all the sounds that they use in the Half-Life 1 soundtrack, and a lot of them are just, you know, samples, because he was a programmer and he just got his hands on some sound tech and kind of put together what he could. Just happened to be very unique and really good. That's awesome. That's one thing about Valve in general, is they had so many unconventional people working there. That probably sounds a little weird, but like the TF2 art director was not a video game concept artist. He was someone who was wanting to work at Pixar, and you bring that guy on for like a video game, and you see what he wants to contribute. I feel like it gives you something a little bit more dynamic and interesting effect than you know, just like a random video game concept artist who was working at Bungie or something. Fuck, I'm getting pieced up. Yeah, I get in this, I have this, like, internal struggle with streaming where it's like, I want to be a thoughtful streamer, right? I want to kind of slow down and be the guy who appreciates the game, kind of try to point stuff out, make it like a cool place where people can hang out and talk about a game. And the other part of me wants to be... Yeah, I'm the streamer, I'm the Zoomer streamer, I'm the like, I guess it's just a combination of influences who I grew up watching on YouTube. People like Vinesauce or you know, like Ross Scott. Like I watch a lot of videos from people who are very calm, and I think that's kind of reflected in my videos. But when I get on stream, I understand. I maybe it's not something I understand. That might be a potential way to put it, but I get the. I know that the most popular streams on the world are like people being crazy and doing crazy shit and jumping over like Lamborghinis or whatever, so I try to do that too. And I feel like it just creates a kind of awkward like middle spot there, where I'm trying to be thoughtful like an old guy, and then I'm trying to be crazy and entertaining like fucking IShowSpeed or something. Or just generally like any of those really popular streamers. I don't know, I hope it appeals to somebody. Maybe I should lean in one direction or the other, I don't know. Anyway. I still have a lot of fun streaming, don't get me wrong. And I appreciate all who come to the stream. You guys are wonderful. Just wanted to share some personal thoughts from it. Anyway. To fucking replay this part. Hello, from the guy who says hello. This is fascinating. Don't be brain rot TikTok mind streamer, please. I guess I can try not to. People like it on UFR. I don't know how many people here watch UFR, but when I'm on there, I kind of act a little crazy and kooky, and some people seem to really like it. Some people hate it, but there we go. I've beaten the whole Half-Life 2 game in the 20th anniversary, including the episodes before Richter. That breaks my heart to learn. Okay. It's just sad, you know. I would have, if I hadn't missed it, I would have been streaming this the day it came out, you know. But I had to do lame shit like, you know, getting married to the love of my life and stuff. It's so boring and lame. No, I'm just kidding, but it's just, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate how it worked out. Here we go. Well, who the fuck is a UNFR? UFR. It's like somebody, it's a podcast I'm on sometimes. Exhilarating. Fuck. What all is good on the workshop, by the way? I haven't had a chance to, excuse me, really look into the content on the workshop outside of this like veteran difficulty thing. I thought it might make it a little bit more interesting than you know, just going through the commentary notes or whatever. Oh fuck! I forgot there was guys over there. I'm a noob. Fuck, I'm ass. I'm terrible. Why are the Metrocops doing like 20 per shot? It seems like I have a workshop fucking thingy on. It's called veteran difficulty. I wanted to try. That's what I was just talking about. I guess I forget people kind of pop in and out of the stream. Holy shit, I'm getting like fucked up by these Metrocops though. Top tier shitpost. They did do an official upload of Minerva on the workshop, and that's neat. Did the guy who made Mission Improbable put his shit up? Because I love Mission Improbable. It's like definitely one of the best Half-Life 2 mods. It might be my favorite, maybe. I don't know. Hey Richter, could you say something horrible and racist on the podcast and ruin your career? You know, I think I'm not your man for that. Maybe you should try asking, you know, the one who shan't be unnamed on that podcast. Yeah, maybe he'll do it. There's already a few nude Alexes. Well, that's not surprising. Yeah, he did? Okay, that's good. Maybe I'll stream that. That's Mission Improbable is really good. It's always been really good. It's always been one of my favorites. How do you know Roman Ivanov? I don't know who that is. That sounds like a guy in GTA 4 or something. I don't know why I did that. I'm very stupid. Fuck. Yeah, and I mentioned the thing about... this will be I'm repeating myself a lot for the people in the VOD, but also that was very embarrassing. With what Henry just said in chat, I've seen plenty of mods uploaded by people who didn't create them. That's something that I'm a little bit worried about. The player has no real reason to care if they're not, you know, trying to be ethically playing Half-Life 2 mods or whatever, which a lot of people probably aren't, right? But it is sad for... It is sad for people to not have the most popular upload of something that they put a lot of time into making. And, I fear that will happen a lot. It sounds like it already is happening with, you know, the abrupt establishment of this is the new hub for Half-Life 2 mods. I'm also very bad. Holy fuck. There we go.
Explosive Barrel Factory. This room, filled with an absurd number of exploding barrels, inspired some good-natured debate within the team around how far to push the plausibility of our world. Frankly, one exploding barrel is probably too many in regards to realism. In the real world, barrels really shouldn't explode, even if you were to shoot them.
True. I like them though. It's a staple of FPS games, right? Doom had explosive barrels. I think Quake did too. That's just a fact of the genre, okay? And the game is better for them. There's so many cool moments that come out of these explosive barrels. I hope they don't, like, regret the barrels. I think they're awesome. They're way cooler than the ones in Half-Life 1. You ain't gonna make it through Anti-Citizen 1 and follow Freeman with this difficulty mod. That might be true. Hopefully that's not so delayed that I sound like a moron. Although I don't really need to be humming music off tempo to sound like a moron, I suppose. I sometimes just do that. I was gonna say, did they make it like a valve you actually have to keep turning? That would be very strange. Anyway. Here we go. Come on. There we go.
Rising water. The floating bridge and wooden spools here introduce the concept of
Spools?
buoyancy as a tool for the player. In this case, it's not really a puzzle. It's just some fun for the player interacting with the physics system. But later, we revisit this gameplay element in the canals to raise a ramp for the airboat.
True. They do that. And like not that long actually. And like the level after the next. Let's see. Can I do this without an SMG grenade? Can I do it with a normal one? I hit him. I didn't kill him, but I hit him. There's a Combine soldier up there. I point that out every stream. People are probably very bored of me giving the same trivia over and over again, but...
In the early 2000s, we couldn't afford a general-purpose renderer with the broad capabilities of a modern engine. Instead, CPU, GPU, and memory limitations required highly specific solutions to rendering challenges so we could squeeze every bit of performance out of a player's hardware. As a result, Half-Life 2 actually has 3 different rendering engines. One for world geometry, another for outdoor terrain, and a third for dynamic entities like characters and objects. These 3 renderers had to support a complicated matrix of features: collisions, ray traces, decals, offline lighting, visibility calculations, and more. On top of that, each renderer needed to support DirectX 7, 8, and 9.
God damn it. Somehow that always happens to me. I really couldn't tell you why.
Rendering systems. In the early 2000s, we couldn't afford a general-purpose renderer with the broad capabilities of a modern engine. Instead, CPU, GPU, and memory limitations required...
Good to see the Combine took some of the valve wheels from the Black Mesa research facility that turned themselves. So true.
...to rendering challenges so we could squeeze...
Maybe that's just how valves work in the Half-Life universe in general. They're just kind of automatic, even since the 90s.
Half-Life 2 actually has 3 different rendering engines. One for world geometry, another for outdoor terrain, and a third for dynamic entities like characters and objects. These 3 renderers had to support a complicated matrix of features: collisions, ray traces, decals, offline lighting, visibility calculations, and more. On top of that, each renderer needed to support DirectX 7, 8, and 9. The differences among these DirectX versions were significant, often requiring different data storage and rendering approaches. They even used different programming languages. Altogether, we essentially had 9 different renderers, each needing unique solutions, and getting them all to look consistent was one of the most challenging tech problems we've
Thank you, Loogie.
faced during development.
Appreciate the well wishes on my marriage. I appreciate it. Thank you.
GPU Wild West. During development, we faced numerous decisions and...
They should have put all this shit about computer parts in the computer lab part.
GPU Wild West.
It's interesting, but it's just
During
kind of weird that it's
development, we
happening
faced
here
numerous
in the
decisions
fucking canals.
influenced by our choice of minimum spec, the least powerful CPU and GPU combination that would still deliver a good experience for customers. In the early 2000s, there was far more variety among GPUs than today, with wide differences not only in speed, but in fundamental approaches to rendering. But at the time, we had no real data on the hardware our customers were using. What CPUs and GPUs did they have? How much RAM? Which version of Windows? We reached out to Microsoft hoping they might know answers to questions like, how many DX7 cards are in use? Or DX8? Unfortunately, they didn't have the data either. Realizing we were at risk of making bad decisions without these insights, we developed an analysis tool that allowed players to report their hardware specs to us and integrated it into the early version of Steam. The data was so useful that we decided to make it public, launching the Steam Hardware Survey in April 2003. It's been helping us and hopefully other developers make informed decisions ever since.
That's neat.
I got one! Hey! You're Freeman, aren't you?
Yep.
We got word you were coming. You got here at a
Coming.
bad time.
Black Mesa East to Station 6. Do you read?
Alex.
Dr. Freeman is on his way downriver. Lend him the airboat and give him all the help you can. Repeat, Gordon Freeman has returned. It is critical he reaches Black Mesa East.
We've got some ammo in those crates over there. Help yourself to supplies and keep moving.
Dynamic shadows. With a focus on character and physics objects, we felt a dynamic shadow system was necessary to render them all in all their glory. In 2003, GPUs didn't have any dedicated shadow capabilities that they have today, so performance was a tricky problem. Our eventual
Hot take, the crowbar becomes utterly useless once the gravity gun exists. Not true, because the crowbar is good for killing, it's good for breaking barriers, and it's good for killing head crabs. And, yeah, so that's not true. Or I would disagree.
solution went something like this, running every frame. First, find all the objects that might have shadows in view. Doing this meant figuring out which objects were in the view frustum, or slightly behind it, to catch entities that were off-screen but whose shadows might end up on-screen. Then we'd render a black shadow version of each one of those objects into a single shadow texture. For that render, we'd use the lowest level of detail model for the object to be as fast as possible. Finally, we'd use the shadow texture to draw each of the shadows into the player's view, darkening the already rendered pixels. We carefully cut around each shadow in that shadow texture to ensure that they correctly overlaid each other in the case where multiple shadows overlap. It's neat to look back on how we did these things, but ultimately we're a lot happier today, where GPU hardware makes it a much more straightforward problem.
Get going!
Shut the fuck up, man. Shut up. Be quiet. I was listening to fucking
Dynamic shadow.
Gary McTaggart, okay? He's more important than you. I don't even know your name. I think it's Winston? Not Winston? He has a name. Somebody will tell me. He has, his entity is named, probably like Charles or something. Anyway. You know, on the topic of what I said earlier, I don't know how much people cared, but, I guess the question of, you know, do I stream crazy or do I stream, chill? I guess most YouTubers probably experience that. I'm probably not alone in that at all. That's probably just like generally striking a balance between making the content you maybe want to aspire to make versus, you know, trying to appeal to people, what people want. I'm probably not alone in that.
Head crab canisters. Used head crab canisters are seen later in Ravenholm.
These are really cool. This is another thing that Half-Life 1 doesn't have that Half-Life 2 is better for. I like the world building of, you know, the head crabs being weaponized by the Combine. I think it's really cool. Obviously, Combine didn't exist in Half-Life 1, but you know what I mean? This is a really cool evolution of the head crab as a concept that I don't think gets enough... It doesn't really get enough love, you know?
So we decided to show them here to tell the story of how they're used by the Combine. The story is that the Combine have weaponized Zen fauna to use them against the humans. Burrowed head crabs was added as a new feature for this section that was expanded into a larger area that is meant to show a citizen shanty that was decimated by the head crab assault.
It's awesome. This is a cool little area. There's a name for it that I'm forgetting. All my Half-Life 2 knowledge is rusty because I was away from home. Normally I'm reading about it every day. I remember everything. I'm like a Half-Life oracle. No, I'm kidding, of course, but I really don't remember what it's called. Also, if someone is just saying the crazy shit in chat, and there's not a mod on to fix it, just ignore them. I don't know what we're talking about in the chat, but just ignore a person if they're being crazy, okay? I watched your Day 1 Half-Life 2 video and I wonder, why do you prefer Old Fire over a new one? I just think it matches the coloring of the rest of the game better. Like the palette, and especially the coloring of the dynamic lights around the fire are clearly made for the original fire texture, and they just kind of look weird without them. Or they look weird adjusted. The hue doesn't match, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I couldn't tell you what I mean without. Actually, yes, I can. You know what? I'll take a break to show you guys what exactly I mean, because there is actually a graphic for this to demonstrate the point I'm trying to make about the color of the. To make a the color of the coloring of the fire. Have a look. That's what I'm talking about. Do you only do YouTube for fun? No, I make money on it. Thankfully, it's a blessing. I'm not trying to be flippant there. It's a blessing to make money from YouTube. I'm very grateful for it. But this is what I mean. You can see at the bottom that this just matches better to me. You know, it just the coloring on the wall just feels more like it's coming from the what am I saying? The fire on the bottom than the fire on the top. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree, but I just like it more. I feel like it matches better.
Airboat intro. This is where the player gets the first vehicle of the game, the airboat. We wanted to create a safe space for players to practice driving the airboat for as long as they wanted before moving on. The arena is sprinkled with opportunities for jumps and tricks, and we filled the arena with toxic slime to keep players in the airboat longer, while preventing them from leaving the vehicle behind and progressing forward on foot.
That's good.
Combinatorial shader explosion.
Oh
Rendering
man,
became much more
this
complex during
Jesus.
Half-Life 2's
More render
development
talk.
with the addition of hardware shaders. Small bits of code controlling how each pixel on a surface should render. In 2003, shaders were far more limited than today. Half-Life 2 era shaders lacked conditionals and had severe code size restrictions. This meant no if-else branching logic to adjust based on different conditions, and no large shaders with broad feature sets. Also, compiling shaders as needed was just too slow to be useful, so we had to pre-compile them. To work within these limits, we had to compute every possible shader combination and store each one individually as its own shader. For example, if a shader affected a surface based on a single light source, we'd need another shader version for 2 lights, another for 3, and so on. And it was combinatorial. If that shader also supported a normal map, we'd need 2 versions per light, one with a normal map and one without.
How is Victor Blobertime not crashing out over the incorrect naming convention? You know, I thought it was obvious to people. It might not have been. Maybe I'm just not funny. The Mud Skipper thing was like a joke. The joke is it's like making fun of like Half-Life YouTubers, like including myself, like the actually guys, you know. That was the whole point of the Mud Skipper thing. It's just stupid. It's a funny sounding word is why I thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny to be like, actually you guys are all wrong. If you look at the fucking thing, it's actually fucking nah. I thought that was a funny bit, and I thought that bled through in the little video I posted, but. I guess not. Some people really in the community genuinely think that I am just like a snob, and if you call it the airboat, it's the fucking developers don't call it an airboat. It's just a bit. I thought it was funny that there's parts of the book where they call it the Mud Skipper, and I thought that would make like for a novel and interesting joke, and I guess it has. It's a bit of an inside joke in the Half-Life community now, I think, which is cool, but. It's just a joke, man. People get really mad about it sometimes. I have people in games be like, why did you tell everyone it's a Mud Skipper? That's fucking stupid. It's literally no one calls it the Mud Skipper. That's not what it's fucking called. The developers don't call it the Mud Skipper. No, come on. It's a joke, man. I don't know. I guess I'm just not funny or something. I don't know.
With features like texture blending, vertex tinting, specular highlights, alpha testing, and various other light types, directional point and spotlights, our shader count exploded. By release, we had thousands...
Chat is rather slow, but I still do not know if it will even be seen. Even if I have no motivation for the TF2 or Valve community anymore, still keep up the content. Still really love the content. Keep it up. Thanks, Neo's Online. I will try. I've tried for... I've been doing this for like 3 years. I don't think I'm going to stop. I've had a good time with it. I feel like I've shared some good stories. You started it as a joke, but without knowing, you slowly turned it into a real truth you think. It is true that there's parts of the game that refer to it as a Mud Skipper, and I do think that's funny.
Of individual shaders. Shortly after, we released Lost Coast adding HDR support, which doubled the shader count again. Once compiling shaders on the local developer's machine started taking too long, we switched to distributing the shader compiles over the entire network using VMPI. We also had a dynamic shader compilation mode that was useful for developing shaders that gave...
Love your videos, man. I'm a huge fan of all your stuff, and it's always a joy when there's a new video from you on my feed. These people are so sweet in the chat, and then I fucking get on here and I start acting like a fool. I start going... Half-Life 2, and then like indignant, crazy, loud opinions about the game. I got a lot of soul searching to do, man. People are here for the good videos and interesting stories. I got to stop with the craziness. I don't know if people are really here for that, but thank you for the kind words, Spin Crash. I appreciate it. And Neo's online again. Comments like that, they're more helpful than you think to read. You know, makes you remember what you're doing it for. I make the videos for people like you. You know. Anyway.
Fast turnaround at the expense of frame rate hitching when a shader had to be compiled.
By the way, Richard, if you want to make more frequent videos, I hope they're not made just for the sake of making more. I'd hate to see the quality suffer as a result. The thing is, I feel like I probably put too much time into the editing now. People would probably rather get videos faster without as much crazy editing. I don't think people are really subscribed to me for my editing anyway. People are subscribed to Ratlobber for his cool editing, but I think I probably overdo it a little bit sometimes. And I could definitely get videos out faster if I was just focusing on the writing more and kind of just put it together, but... Shut the fuck up! Listen, thank you to the people who've come to the stream and said so many kind words, and the people who have made well wishes for my marriage. I really appreciate that. But I think what I'm gonna do, because the stream's kind of dying down a little bit, and we're getting to another extra part of hire an editor. I've thought about it. We're getting to like a new chapter of Half-Life 2. I am going to put a break on the stream. Not for any real, not because, I'm like having a bad time or anything like that, but because I realized what I might do. I think it would be funny if I'll do a part 2 to this stream. I'll come back later, maybe tomorrow, and I'll play more of Half-Life 2, but I'll go and download what people were saying, like the brain rot mods, like Germa, Alex, or whatever. I'll download a bunch of the stupid shit on the workshop. And maybe it'll make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. Like new developer commentary, stupid ass mods, and veteran difficulty. That's got to be enough to be, an interesting little thing to watch. Hopefully. Thank you guys seriously for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed your time. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your night. Sorry if you were a Half-Life 1 fan who was offended by my shit talking. You guys take care, for real. You guys, I gotta stream more. I forgot how much I like connecting with people. It's really cool. But thank you to everybody who came. I really appreciate it. And